So everybody's competing to be the next Candace Owens. Candace Owens has pretty much been removed and she's going down the drain right now, and everybody's sitting up there gunning for the spot. But will that spot be open for the next Candace Owens? And I bet you it won't be.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, family. Black first, every single last one of you guys. We're going to have a good one this evening. We have much to discuss, so thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all time. I appreciate everything. All right. Thank you guys tremendously. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. It is showtime. Now, we're going to get started. And the thing is, we're changing things up just so I can be on time, because I just don't like to keep you guys waiting. I respect you guys' time. So I'm changing things up a little bit. All right. So, that way I can be much faster with it, much faster. But everybody knows about Candace Owens, especially when it comes to like black conservatives and all of that stuff. Everybody knows about that movement. Everybody knows about those things. Candace Owens. Hold on, let me turn that on a little bit. And there's people, because Candace Owens has, let's be honest, Candace Owens has seen better days. Candace Owens has definitely seen better days. I need to turn that lamp on. And now we have people trying to gun for her spot, gun for her position. All right. So we're going to discuss a couple of things. All right. We're going to discuss a couple of things. And this is why we got to make sure we delineate. Now, let me explain to you guys why. And I downloaded these clips. These clips are on YouTube. I didn't actually screen record them. I actually downloaded them. So the method is a little bit different. Thank you guys for being here. We got a lot of people in here already, ready for the conversation. Great. All right. That's great news. All right. So let me explain to you guys why, because this tether kind of explains, which is interesting. You can learn a lot from a tether. Sometimes they tell on themselves accidentally. So this tether explains exactly why everybody is trying to be like Candace Owens. Or she doesn't say that, but, you know, we know what it is. We know exactly what it is. But before we get into playing anything, I don't want to get in trouble any more than I necessarily have to, because you already know they don't really like me that much. So I'm going to play the copyright disclaimer to establish to YouTube that everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. And what I need you guys to do is hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. We'll be right back. All right. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Right. All right. Okay. So we're here. So let's get started. Now, we've already discussed this tether before. She is a tether. Her name actually on YouTube is the Bahamian Girl. All right. She's a immigrant. All right. So we're going to break down what she has to say, because I think that this is very educational. To be very honest with you, it's very educational what she has to say about why they act this way, why they do what they do.
Open up your YouTube app on any given day, and these are the images you're likely to see. Black people.
Fast forwarded a tad bit, you know.
Fighting. Ratchet culture rises quickly to the top of the algorithm because people love drama, and apparently they love toxicity. But why is that? Why is it more profitable, more clickable, more viral to highlight the worst of Black culture rather than the best of Black culture? So about a week ago, one of my viewers came across one of my videos. It was the video about the Uber Eats driver who confronted the woman who lied about not receiving her food. And after watching that video, the viewer wrote 8 words. Do you ever do any positive Black videos? Well, days later, another viewer by the name of Tia N. Watson wrote, you are part of the problem. Doing your part to make us look bad as a whole, all for your content. Crazy part is you convince yourself otherwise. Shame. What the people who wrote those comments fail to understand is that the problem they complain about, they're a major part of it. They are a major part of the ecosystem that drives YouTube. When they watch a video like mine and they choose to engage with it, be it positive or negative, it signals to the YouTube machinery that this is the kind of content that they like. Whether they're saying something positive or negative, YouTube doesn't know the difference. It's all engagement. And that's what YouTube wants, engagement. If those individuals weren't interested in the slightest, they wouldn't watch it and they certainly would not comment. So the question is, why do so many YouTubers focus on negative Black content? Well, the answer is twofold. Number one, it's incredibly difficult to ignore a group of people who choose to act like nincompoops on a daily basis. Whether they're fighting in a Popeye Popeyes chicken restaurant, fighting at a gas station, wearing something provocative, incredibly skimpy to their children's graduation ceremony, or fighting over hair in a beauty supply store's parking lot. It happens every single day, and it is very hard to ignore. And as content creators, we
no. First off, before she continues, no. Okay, we're not gonna let her slide with that. Not gonna let her get away with that, because that happens in the dominant society all of the time. And you don't hear any YouTuber consistently bringing that up. The people who are conservative and about law and order and all that stuff, they don't bring that up. They don't bring it up. So we're not going to hear that, well, we just do so much crime, that's why it's talked about. But listen to what she says next. I think that this is very informative, and I'm starting this off this way for a good reason, all right?
shouldn't ignore that type of behavior because it's just not acceptable. Secondly, I, like millions of other YouTubers, am running a business. And in the content creation space, you focus on
like millions of other YouTubers, are running a business. I want you guys to pay attention to this, okay? Okay? She's running a business, all right?
what gets eyeballs, what people show an
Let me
interest in.
slow it
Basically,
down just so y'all don't miss nothing. She's running a business. I'm going to slow it down. Hold on. Y'all hearing what she's saying, right?
you focus on what sells. 9 months ago, I did an incredible interview with
Hold on. And then she says, we got to focus on what sells, okay? Don't do that, YouTube. Come on
focus
now.
on what gets eyeballs, what people show an interest in. Basically, you focus on what sells. 9 months ago, I did an incredible interview with a Chicago teacher who is making a significant difference in the lives of his inner city students. In that interview, he talked about the many problems that the system was facing, what teachers were going through, and offered up some incredible solutions to those problems. Do you know how many views that video got? To date, 28,000 views. A few months ago, I did another video where I thanked the people of Cincinnati for fighting back against some white supremacists who had come into their area causing problems. Do you know how many views that video got? Under 10,000. Now compare that to my Carnival Cruise video, which I released, about 3 weeks ago, which is now sitting at 287,000 views, or my Even Black People Are Fed Up with Black People video, which was released, a month ago, that has over 500,000 views. You see a trend? The people are showing me, telling me explicitly what they want to watch, what they want to see. Take it away from me for a second, and take it away from YouTubers and other content creators. Let's just say you are running a business like McDonald's. So McDonald's is world renowned for its French fries. Let's say there are a few people who
Now, just so you know, most of those views about the black people being ghetto and all of this stuff, most of that stuff comes from the dominant society. Most of that stuff is not coming from black people watching that. Okay. And she's understanding that, okay, so when you talk about positive things, and this is why our channels, when we talk about things about black empowerment, this is why our channels have such a hard time getting onto the algorithm. All right. Because black empowerment is not something that the algorithm wants to really cling to. All right. So that part is true. So anytime they say something about black schools, or because we've discussed that, black schools or businesses or stuff like that, the algorithm like, no. But when you talk about, you know what, black people, we are really bad. And the police, I mean, I can understand why the police be doing what they doing and shooting us and killing us and all that stuff. Then the algorithm really likes that. Do you understand? Okay. Do you understand? She's telling you this is a business that they use in spite of foundational black Americans, a business that they use to exploit the culture for their own personal gain, because they really don't have no morals like that. They don't have no conscience. They can go to sleep at night knowing they justified a black child being shot by the police or something like that. They can go to sleep fine. We couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Y'all couldn't do that. We would feel bad about ourselves, but they can. So that's the difference between us and them.
walked inside of McDonald's and said, you know what, I like your fries, but the fries are a little too unhealthy. We want you to have different options, and we want baked cauliflower. So McDonald's says, okay, I guess we could introduce that, since there seems to be some sort of interest in that. And then they introduced baked cauliflower on their menu. But 99.8% of the people keep coming for French fries. Do you think McDonald's is going to keep cauliflower on the menu? No, because the people don't have an appetite for it. They don't want it. And sometimes the people who even say they want that alternative, they want that option, don't order it themselves. So if little to no one is ordering the baked cauliflower off the menu, guess what McDonald's is going to do? It's going to revert to putting all of its attention into selling those French fries, because that's what sells. And guess what, Kitty?
Did you hear that? That's what sells. I want y'all to see all of this stuff is a way for them to come up. Okay. All of them are inspiring to come up. This is a business. They're not doing this because they really believe in quote unquote conservatism or fixing the community, changing the community, doing all of this stuff. They don't believe in none of that. All of this is a game. It's a come up. They feel like as long as we're exploiting foundational Black Americans, that's fine, because they don't want to exploit their own culture. Okay. They don't want to make their culture look bad. They don't mind, because there's a disconnect, a cultural disconnect. They don't mind making our culture look a type of way, but they don't want to make their culture look a type of way. Even Candace herself has said it. Okay.
Honest, I have a Caribbean bias. My former producer made it very clear to me that I have a Caribbean bias, because she'd pitch me stories or like say like Rihanna did this, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna say anything bad about Rihanna, or like Nicki Minaj, and she's like, but I have a Caribbean bias. This guy's got a Caribbean accent. My grandma had a very thick St. Thomian accent.
Okay, exactly. A very thick St. Thomian accent. All right. This is what it is. Now, when you actually look at it, no wonder they're trying to run this business. And I'm not sitting up there trying to say that this is justified or anything like that at all. But when you do a little bit of digging into the situation and you know, do some Google research real quick. Now, this is an estimate, so just take this with a grain of salt. Look at this. Okay. Zooming in right here. Now, this is widely reported. This is an estimate. Candace Owens' net worth is widely reported to be around $12 million. A lot of money. $12 million. That's a bit of money. Now, some of these commentators, they got maybe 100,000, 200,000. Some even got 1 million. But then, yeah, you got to pay a bunch of, you know, people to run your studio. And YouTube, they don't know. YouTube takes a big cut out of that money. So, yeah, they're trying to get on Candace's level. Okay. Because everybody's trying to aspire to be like, okay, well, Candace, or at least at the time, Candace can go wherever she wants to go, whether that's PragerU, the Daily Wire. They would pay her millions of dollars annually. She could even get a job when it comes to maybe a Trump cabinet or something like that. So that's what everybody's inspiring to, because to them, it's a business, and it's a business that as long as you exploit foundational Black Americans and you're not causing harm to your quote unquote culture, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And they feel no type of way about it. So this is why they come over, and this is why they cosplay. But the thing is that it's just not really hitting like that no more. It's not hitting like that no more. Okay. So as you can see, the Tether just admitted that this is a business. Now, let me show you some of the other stuff, because we're going to get into some of the, and these are the main two because they're young. These are the main two people that I'm starting to see really aspire to be the next Candace Owens. So we're going to get to this one. This is a mixed Nigerian woman. Her father is Nigerian, wasn't in her life like that. And her mother is Caucasian. Okay. Her mother's white. So she's biracial and a tether. So she's a biracial anchor baby. I mean, that's a dangerous combination right there. That's a very dangerous combination. And what she does is she goes around, and at first she was trying to cosplay as FBA until we kind of called that out. Let me show you, because we ain't just going to say that. We're not going to say anything without the receipts. Hold on. We got to show you the receipts on everything. Because you know Afro don't be just lying on folk. Why would I do that? Show you the receipts. She's out here cosplaying. Pull this up. I got to screen share this. We're doing things a little bit slower, but that's okay. We got some time. I just don't want to be too late, because I respect y'all and I respect y'all time. And I hope that you guys hit that like button. That's what I really hope. It's really neat. All right. So look at this. Okay. Make this bigger for y'all.
Give you my take on Juneteenth. And just to preface this, it's not going to be anything radical. I'm not coming at your throats. I'm not going to be angry about anything that's going on right now, because I don't think it deserves that sort of energy. And I've seen a lot of people on both sides of the aisle going back and forth, being very angry about what's happening right now with Juneteenth, and people on the left defending it and blah, 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 blah. I just want to state the case, because I think there's a narrative that we are not seeing here when it comes to Juneteenth, the now federally recognized holiday. in America. And I do have notes here because, of course, I want to get this right. This is a sticky subject to step in, and you kind of feel like you have to walk on eggshells when you're talking about this. Funny enough, I'm going to talk about why you feel the need to walk on eggshells when we come on this. It is a very ingenious trick specifically made by the radical left to make it so that you cannot possibly oppose something like Juneteenth. So let me give you the perspective here. If you're not familiar with what Juneteenth is, a federally recognized holiday that celebrates the emancipation of slavery. Kind of, not quite. It celebrates the emancipation of slaves in Galveston, Texas, and the announcement of which it was made in that state to emancipate slaves. Great, good, love it. A disclaimer, nobody is against the emancipation of slaves. I can't find a single person who would tell you any differently than what I just told you. Nobody is against the emancipation of slaves. That is a great, wonderful thing. As a Black American, I really do appreciate that that happened. But what is happening right now is that
did y'all catch that? Hold on. And this is one of her early days. You know, this is when she was first getting started, getting her feet wet. Okay, did y'all catch what she just said? Hold on. I got to take this back. Take this back a couple seconds.
The emancipation of slaves. I can't find a single person who would tell you any differently than what I just told you. Nobody is against the emancipation of slaves. That is a great, wonderful thing. As a Black American, I really do appreciate that that happened. But what is happening?
As a Black American, I really do appreciate that that happened. As a Black American. Now, when she first came on the scene, she was calling herself a Black American. As a Black American, I can understand. As a Black American, like, okay, that's a very funny last name for a Black American. I'm gonna let it's only about a minute left. I'm gonna let her go ahead. But this is how they do. Okay. They be coming here. Well, I'm a Black American because I'm Black and I'm in America. That's the logic that they use. But she's not a foundational Black American. Nobody in her family is a foundational Black American. All right.
Happening right now is that Juneteenth is being pushed as this major narrative, and it is being pushed. I'm sure you're seeing it everywhere. If you are hearing me talk about this for the first time, I am baffled. But Juneteenth is being pushed because it perpetuates the very same narrative of things like critical race theory here in America. And what is that narrative? The narrative is that Black Americans are oppressed and that white Americans are the oppressors. So Black, great, we need to help them. They are victims. White, bad. Colonizers, they are the ones who have been doing the oppressing. They are the ones who have enslaved us. And Juneteenth is an avenue of which we push that narrative.
Enslaved us. Are y'all peeping the language that they started using? She, as a Black American, and yeah, we're trying to make white people bad because they're the ones who enslaved us. Her father is Nigerian and her mother is Caucasian. She is not foundational Black American on either side, but this is how she came out the gate.
Narrative. And I'm just going to refer back to my notes here. So if you don't see how this is so ingenious, let me tell you how it's ingenious. Because if you come out and you say, you know what, I'm feeling kind of fishy about this whole Juneteenth thing, you look like a bigot, because who could possibly oppose a holiday that celebrates the emancipation of slavery? University to give you my take on Juneteenth. And just to preface this, it's not going to be anything radical. I'm not coming at your throats. I'm not going to be angry about anything that's going on right now because I don't think it deserves that sort of energy. And I've seen a lot of people on both sides of the aisle going back and forth, being very angry about what's happening right now with Juneteenth, and people on the left defending it and blah, 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 blah. I just want to state the case because I think there's a narrative that we are not.
Do y'all see that? Now, do y'all see that? So this is the problem that we're having. Family, this is the problem that we're having. This is why delineation is so necessary, because we're wondering now. Of course, we got Sambos. We do got Sambos. If you notice, most of our Sambos are kind of older. Most of our Sambos are a little bit older in age. They got gray hairs and everything like that. That's most of them. Okay, they're kind of washed up. The younger ones, the younger real Black conservatives and all that stuff. And when I say younger, I mean kind of like 40 and younger, who are like hardcore conservatives all the way. Tethers or anchor babies. Okay. More times than not, they're tethers or they're anchor babies. But they don't want to say that because there's a sense of credibility to speak on our lineage with authority when you're in the lineage. You can't speak on our lineage, our culture, our communities with any type of authority if you're from outside of the lineage. You might as well not be black at that point. This is why the dominant society has given Candace, because Candace really popped on, if you guys understand, Candace really popped on before we were really delineating like that. That's the thing. She was really the last person to really make it big before the delineation movement really started hitting like that. All right. So she was like, the door was closed. Y'all know some of those like action movies or something like that, where like there's the vault and it's going down, or the door is closing and you like squeeze through, the hero runs past and they squeeze through in the last second or something like that. Y'all, that's Candace. That's Candace. She was the last to squeeze through that door. Last. Okay. And we're not having another one because now the delineation thing is taking full effect. Let me get to Chris. Chris says, I bet she won't show Caribbean foolishness though. Okay. The Bahamian woman, she won't. They never do. They never do. Okay. Jedi Sage says her getting sued by Micron. I don't know who that is. Damn, 350 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. She cooked now. Oh yeah, let's be honest. A lot of them, they face a lot of lawsuits and a lot of stuff like that. They're cooked. Tom Slick says, lady, you don't have the right to speak on it. She don't have the right to speak on Juneteenth, but she tried. She tried. She tried. You are a lad. Thank you very much. And then my brother tell it like it is. He says, this last chick's boyfriend is Australian, and as for Candace, she about to pay that Macron. What's that? Macron tax. Oh yeah, she's about to pay. Oh, you talk about Candace. Oh yeah, Candace is about to pay up. So Candace, hold on. Candace has seen better days. And I told you guys when she got deplatformed by the Daily Wire, it wasn't going to take long. She was able to stay afloat a little bit because she was doing a lot of commentary that people liked about Kamala with the election. So she was able to stay afloat a little bit, but that ship has sailed now, because the thing is that Candace found herself in a very tough position, because Candace can't go super, super hard when it comes to being a conservative, because now she needs to soften up a little bit because she doesn't have that protection that Ben Shapiro was giving her with the Daily Wire. So now she got to soften up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the conservatives ain't really messing with her a little bit, and the Democrats ain't gonna mess with her. So then she tried to make her way back to the black community, and you see that didn't work at all. You see that didn't work. But this Tether, okay, this one right here, Amala, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. Her last name is something crazy. It's some crazy Nigerian last name. Okay. And don't say that's bullying. That's not bullying. It's just, it is what it is. It's crazy. It's a crazy Nigerian last. It's long. It's difficult to pronounce. Okay. And whose fault is that? Not mine. She goes on. I mean, she really has an axe to grind about Juneteenth. She goes on to discuss Juneteenth even further. We're going to play a little bit of this.
Where she's from in South Africa, but not at all normal.
Hold on. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. My bad. That's not the right one. Let me click the right video because there was another video. It's okay. It happens sometimes, y'all. It happens. It happens sometimes. Click the right one. Hold on. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, here it is. It happens, y'all. It happens. I appreciate that. Can y'all hit that like? Can y'all hit that like for me, please? Thank you. Please and thank you. This light is very bright on the side. All right, here we go.
Juneteenth is coming up, which means we need to learn something.
Teach me.
And
He's talking about Juneteenth again.
Found an article, the 6 do's and don'ts for engaging in Juneteenth conversations. Let's see what we got to do here.
I'll fast forward.
6 do's and don'ts for engaging in Juneteenth conversations. I personally don't have any celebration on Juneteenth. I get that some people are interested in it. They do want to celebrate the emancipation. More power to you. I will be living out my life as a regular individual with a regular day. So just in case I run into some Juneteenth conversations, let's see what the ground rules are. Educate yourself on the holiday ahead of time. How did it happen? Why did it happen? Who authorized the abolition of slavery? And why did it take so long for the slaves in Galveston, Texas to hear about it? I'm educated enough on Juneteenth now. I don't personally feel the need to look into this. I'll tell you an interesting story. I was at a comedy show of Tony Rock at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas with my boyfriend, and we went. My boyfriend happens to be a white man. Spooky. I am so scared.
Is anybody surprised? Is anybody? I want all hands up. Who didn't see that coming? Oh, I want anybody surprised in the room. I would just want to know how many people are surprised in the room that she got a damn zaddy as a boyfriend. I just want to know. Okay. Because when I saw it, I kind of saw that coming. I'm pretty sure I saw that coming. All right. So nobody's surprised. I guess we all on game then. Let's continue.
Tony started telling a joke and he looked at my boyfriend and said, "Do you know what Juneteenth is?" First of all, my boyfriend's an Australian man.
Good day, mate.
So there's no reason for him to know what Juneteenth is. We all know that America had slaves. We all know the slaves were emancipated. That was a great thing, a great move of progress in this country. Personally, I can move on, but the whole crowd was shocked. And
You
the
see
joke.
that? Personally, I can move on. You can move on from what? Because Juneteenth ain't about Nigeria. That's the only black thing you got going on. Juneteenth ain't about Nigeria. So what can you move on from? You're not foundational Black American. You have no ties to Juneteenth. And notice the way she speaks about it as if, well, you know what? Slavery, our ancestors know the R and the we, and as a Black American, I can move on from Juneteenth. Well, Juneteenth ain't got nothing to do with you. See, you wasn't making commentary on Juneteenth until Juneteenth became a federal holiday. We all knew about Juneteenth, whether you was in the South or in the North. We knew about Juneteenth to various degrees about, celebrating it or whatever the case is. Everybody wasn't making it a big holiday, but we all knew. We all knew. Joe Biden, and they try to make it seem like Juneteenth is a new thing until Joe Biden said something. We knew. We all knew. Now, was everybody making it a big 4th of July thing? Everywhere, no. But we all knew about it. Some people still don't celebrate it because they don't view it as a full celebratory thing. But notice the cosplaying, okay? And when I say cosplaying, let me be abundantly clear here. Cosplaying really is you emulating Black Americans, whether it's your vernacular, okay? They say AAVE, but I just call it Black Talk. AAVE just sounds so Caucasian way to say it. Slang, Ebonics, the FBA language, okay? Whether that's our vernacular, our terms, our expressions, our clothes, our style, all of these things. You're emulating us and you're hiding your background. That's cosplaying. A cosplay, if you guys go to what's like Comic-Con or anything like that, they put on what? Disguises, costumes, makeup, so they can dress like a comic book character, so they can dress like some type of fictional character or some character that they're not, okay? They're disguising who they are and they're putting on the front. They're not really Darth Vader. They're not really Spider-Man, but they're wearing a Spider-Man costume. That's cosplay. You're not really a Black American, but you're wearing Jordans. You're not really a Black American, but you're wearing hoop earrings and designs in your braids. You're not really a Black American, but you're wearing a do-rag and you're trying to hide your immigrant background. That's why you're using verbiage like we and us and as a Black American, okay? That's why they do that.
Became, how do you have a Black girlfriend and you don't know what Juneteenth is?
How dare you?
It's because Juneteenth is not a keystone in my life story. I'll let you know.
It's not. It ain't got nothing to do with your life. It has nothing to do with your life or the life of anybody in your family lineage at all. Nobody in your family tree had any ties or anything like that to do with Juneteenth. So no, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Not one bit. It ain't got nothing to do with you, to be very frank, to be very honest. And a lot of people saying like, oh, you speaking on foundational Black American culture and you speaking on foundational Black Americans and in particular Juneteenth, as if you got some type of authority to do so, and you're non-FBA. So, you know, she didn't like that. She didn't like that. Okay. Hold on.
He writes,
Okay. So this was a while ago.
He writes, Amala Epinobi has been
Where Tariq had called her out.
prepped by the suspected white supremacist think tank PragerU. So I guess preaching life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is white supremacy. I guess teaching individual responsibility is white supremacy. And I guess telling Black Americans that they are not victims and that they are accountable for their actions is white supremacy. Newsflash, no it's not. And I've been saying it before. I've been working at PragerU and I will continue to say it. I'm not going anywhere. Unlike Tariq here, I'm in the business of telling the truth.
Okay. Well, you know, she's seen better days, because the thing is that she probably could have been a Candace. Probably. We let it slide long enough. She probably could have been a Candace, but the thing is she started just a tad bit too late. She started a tad bit too late. And the thing is that once she started coming around, we were already delineating. And the thing is that unlike one thing that Candace has over you is that Candace Owens, her name doesn't stand out like a sore thumb as far as being non-FBA. Okay? Your name is Amala Ikapunda or something like that. Yeah, Amala Ipunobi. That stands out like a sore damn thumb. You're not fooling nobody that you got an immigrant background with that. See, you should have changed your name before you started. That's what you should have did. It's too late now, okay? If you wanted to start, you should have shortened your name, had an abbreviation, used your middle name or something like that. Your name sticks out like a sore thumb. And you came in right when we started the delineation process. So now ain't none of what you saying got ain't none of that. We ain't buying none of that, right? And she feels some type of way about it. She feels some type of way that we delineating. Now, what's very interesting is that we was making commentary. Y'all know the situation that foundational Black Americans, we not taking no disrespect from nobody, nowhere, and no field, never again. She feels some type of way about that because delineation is kind of rubbing her the wrong way. Look at this. She don't like the fact that we're starting to check tethers now.
Budding pop star Tyla because she referred to herself as colored, which is perfectly normal where she's from in South Africa, but not at all normal here in the United States. Now Black Americans are saying she is anti-Black and she deserves no success in the US of A. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you better themselves as colored. Now Tyla, I guess.
So she's upset, just so we understand this, she's upset now that Tyla flopped. Tyla flopped in the US. Okay, and she's not doing well, and it's not just her EP, her tours. Where's the last Tyla tour? She's had to cancel her tours more than once. She ain't doing well in the US, and she don't like the fact that we're saying, hey, yeah, you're not doing well in the US because you came here, you started crossing lines, you started doing stuff that we didn't really appreciate. We didn't really appreciate the way Tyla was acting. Okay, and she feels some type of way about this now because she's starting to see the significance of us delineating. Before, when we were delineating, remember how she trolled? Look, remember this a couple years ago?
Amala Epinobi has been prepped.
Amala Epinobi, whatever, Epinobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't know what it is, but whatever her name is. Right? She was trolling, talking about, oh, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Y'all don't run nothing. But then when Tyla came out and we showed her, actually, you know, we run a little bit more than you think we run. We got a little bit more say so than you think. Now she's out here trying to defend Tyla because she don't want us to have our cultural significance that we have and the power to determine somebody's victory and success. Because once we stop all of the cosplaying and once we delineate, that automatically creates a pecking order. That's the thing they're afraid of. They're very afraid of the pecking order in this country, which is good because it's the same pecking order that anywhere else in the world you go, you would have to follow. You would have to follow a certain pecking order no matter where you go. If I went to my auntie's house, I would have to follow a certain pecking order. If I went to my grandma's house and my auntie was there, I would have to follow a certain pecking order. My grandma's over here at the top. My auntie, now that's my auntie, but my auntie don't trap my grandma. It's a pecking order. When you come to this country, it's a pecking order now. Okay. And this is what we're establishing. Hey, we're from here. You're not from here. So now there's going to be a pecking order. You going to fall in line or we're going to move you out the line. That's what it's going to be. You ain't going to come in here and put your foot on the table and, you know, kick your feet up and walk around the house with your dirty shoes on my nice, good carpet. You're not going to do that. No, you're going to respect the pecking order. Tyla didn't do that. She had to face the consequences of that. She did it to herself. But Amala is upset because she's starting to see the seriousness of the FBA pecking order. She's very scared because her aspirations of being the next Candace, it don't look like it's going to take off like that. Because once we're establishing this, she's not going to have the same payoff to the dominant society that Candace was able to have, because Candace was able to disguise herself until she really got to her peak.
Didn't realize that was a derogatory term here in the United States, and she continued to refer to herself in that way. Now, Black Americans said, no, you can bring your South African culture here, but you are not bringing the word colored with you. So let's watch a clip of Tyla referring to herself as such.
Like, in South Africa, my race is called colored, and it's a very stressful term to use in America because I know it's a derogatory term, right? But I mean, that's what we are called. Right. In South Africa.
So there you have it. That's it. That's what set off quite a few Black Americans, that she says in South Africa, we refer to ourselves as colored. That's my race. And I know Americans are not fond of it, but it's literally my culture, which obviously you guys know what I'm going to say. There's nothing wrong with that. She came over to this country to promote her music, which is influenced by her South African culture. And if in her country, they refer to themselves as colored, guess what? It makes it not derogatory. Now, she's not coming over.
I muted my mic for a second. No. Well, you know what? New rules. The rules are, the new rules is, how about I'm a foundational Black American and I say so. That's what it is. If I say it's offensive, it's offensive. That's just what it is. I'm FBA and I say so. Okay, that's what it. Can we get some black fists in the chat? If we FBA and we say so, can we get some black fists in the chat? It might not be offensive, but if I don't find it offensive today, and I wake up and tomorrow I find it offensive, it's offensive. This is a pecking order. Remember, I told you this is a pecking order. We make the rules now. So you check in every time. Is it offensive on Monday? No, it's cool. On Tuesday, it's offensive. Stop saying it. That's just going to be what it is. It's just going to be, it's a day-by-day basis. Every time you want to say, am I colored or not? You're going to have to check in with us. If it's a good day, you might get a pass. If it's not, it is what it is. You don't get to tell us. This is a new order of things. You don't get to tell us what's offensive or not. No, you don't get to do that. See, you're upset because we're not just saying it to you. We're showing you, oh yeah, the pecking order is for real. Because y'all was trolling and you're like, oh, yo, FBA folk, y'all just online. And now folks is facing the consequences of it. Folks is facing real consequences, real monetary consequences. Folks is losing money. And that's why you seeing she's sitting up there calling out, oh, why are Black Americans? Now you have to think, Why is she even making this video? This ain't got nothing to do with politics, culture, conservatism, nothing like that. She's making this video because she's upset about the FBA pecking order.
We're here and pointing at Black Americans and saying, you're colored, you're colored, you're colored, knowing damn well that it's derogatory to them and it's offensive to them. She's saying, I'm colored, and in my country, that is not derogatory, nor is it offensive. And if we cannot contextualize the word in the manner in which it's being used, then what are—
And first off, in her color is not derogatory to call her colored, but to be very honest with you, it is anti-Black. Because colored is a race that is socially and politically above the Black race in South Africa. So even for her to refer to herself as colored, which whether she can help it or not, is still anti-Black. The term colored is rooted out of anti-Blackness, anti-Black hierarchy in South Africa. So it is anti-Black. So it is.
are we doing? But nonetheless, a lot of Black Americans, I guess, had a little thirst for vengeance when it came to her use of this phrase. She was doing really well here in the United States. Her first album, her song Water, and other hits that came along with this album were doing really well amongst Black Americans. But they said, no more, you know what, we're not going to engage with this new EP. Now, in the wake of all this colored controversy and the debate surrounding the word, she actually did an interview with The Breakfast Club. You guys know Charlemagne the God and all the hosts on that show. Now, The Breakfast Club decided to bring up the use of the word colored and sort of ask her about its history, about her culture, and about how she feels using that phrase here in the United States. And this is how that went.
All right. School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like the carrot. That's good. That's even better.
Next one, please.
That's even better.
Yo, stupid, yo.
Did you see Kevin Hart give Kai Cenat a framed picture of your saying? What was it?
Okay, so there you go. She was asked the question and immediately boom, looked to somebody else for the answer on that one. Now, mind you, Tyla's 23 years old. I don't know how old she was when she did this interview, maybe the same age. I don't think she was prepared for further pressing on this issue, for further pressing on this word. And you could see it's sort of conditioned into her to go and look to whoever, her publicist, her manager, whoever that may be, to say, should I answer this question? Can you step in here? Can we get to the next question? And as an artist who is on a meteoric rise here in the United States, and particularly amongst Black Americans and in Black culture, The Breakfast Club is one place you do not want to do that. The Breakfast Club has quite a profound popularity amongst Black Americans. And if you're going to go on The Breakfast Club, you better be prepared to be pushed on specific issues, especially ones that have caused viral debates surrounding your use of potentially derogatory terms. Now, we all know it wasn't derogatory, but she should have been able, I think, to sort of stand 10 toes down and say, you know, that's what we say in my culture. And maybe had she stood strong, she would have been able to defend herself. I don't know. I'm not all that convinced. I think people really do just want to hate, especially if you piss off Black America. They are so ready to go after you and say that you're anti-Black or say that you don't care about Black Americans. And then beyond that, they want to be the gatekeepers of culture. So if your album or your EP flops, they are going.
Is that not something that I let it play for a while, right? I let it play for a little bit. Is that not something that we consistently hear from Tethers all the time? Y'all want to be the gatekeepers of culture. Y'all want, when nobody can piss y'all off, y'all get pissed off with everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you said it. You said it. We don't even got to say it. You said it because you already know what it is. We are the gatekeepers of culture. I will wear that badge proudly. Yes, we are the gatekeepers of culture. All right. Y'all are no longer going to come over here and claim to be one of us and then claim to partake in all of our culture and then denigrate Juneteenth and hip hop and our culture and all of this. And no, y'all not going to be doing none of that no more. Yes. From now on, you said, I like the way you said it too. I like the way you said that. I like it. I do. We are the gatekeepers of culture. Why are you mad about that? Notice how she's mad about that, because us being the gatekeepers of culture and she being from outside of the culture, that takes away, it strips her ability to speak on our culture. And if that strips the ability for her to speak on our culture, then they're going to look at it like, well, I mean, there's no need for us to put you on this Candace Owens platform. You can't do what she could do. See, Candace Owens was able to do it, like I said before we started delineating. All right. But now we're starting to delineate. Now everybody's trying to get in the door and the door's locked. Candace closed the door behind her. She didn't even know she did. Gonna play a little bit more.
To take responsibility for that. Now, should she have had an answer for this question? Probably. You either don't go on the Breakfast Club or you go on and you're prepared for what you're going to be asked, which is, of course, going to be one of your major points of controversy. But I digress. Now, since the EP went live and it had less than 4,000 sales, of course, a lot of Black people are hopping on the internet to say, I know exactly why this album is flopping. This tweet says, things that ruined Tyla's debut, insisting on being called colored even after the explanation for why it isn't acceptable here was given, pivoting to being called Black after the fact, showing up to an award show for Black people without acknowledging the race issue. Do you see where all of these reasons lie? It's all about Black Americans. Now, mind you, Tyla is not a Black American. She does not owe you anything, and you don't owe her album sales, but she certainly does not have to drop her culture at the door and not refer to herself in the light in which she's been referring to herself her entire life. Now, she didn't.
Do you see how upset she's upset? Because what happened with Tyler, she's seeing that as, oh, this is a very dangerous precedent that foundational Black Americans have just set. Foundational Black Americans, the ones that y'all was laughing at, the ones that y'all said didn't matter, the ones that y'all said y'all was going to ignore and all of that, the ones that y'all were saying were just this fringe group of people online with no significance. These are the people who are making and breaking the artists now. These are the people who are making and breaking things now. Metaphorically speaking, of course, economically speaking, rather. These are the people whose boycotts are really mattering now. We are the, like you said, like she said, the gatekeepers of culture. That's scary to her. So now it's well, why do we got to follow Black Americans? She's upset about it because, like I said, the pecking order is for real. The FBA pecking order, and everybody's got to fall in line. You don't get a choice. You don't get an option.
Insist that Black Americans call her colored. She just said, hey, I'm from South Africa and I'm going to refer to myself as colored. And if you go and look into her history and background, she's spoken extensively about her culture, about her history, about her background, her heritage, and engaging with all of that. So for her to come into this country and then to be asked to abandon her culture is just so wild to me, especially with how seriously Black Americans take culture and the many accusations that they will lay on other people for trying to strip them of their culture. Please make it make sense. But nonetheless, we're going to watch some more responses.
Tyla barely sold freaking 4,000 copies in her first week for her new EP because of the disrespect she displayed towards Black American people. To everyone in the diaspora that keeps disrespecting Black Americans, what have we learned from this? What have we learned from this? I'll tell you, nothing moves and nothing shakes without Black Americans. This is coming from a Haitian American man. Nothing moves or shakes without Black Americans. Nothing. How you go from having one of the best songs of the decade and
he even though he Haitian, I got it. Hey, he know what's up. Yeah, everybody's starting to get it now. Everybody's starting to understand it now. He Haitian and he's like, hey man, the FBA's, hey, I ain't even gonna fight them. They the ones controlling it, okay? They the captains of the ship. I'm just gonna stay in my lane. I'm just gonna mind the deck or ship the coal, whatever. I don't know what they be doing on ships like that, but he gonna be doing it. Because all we gonna be doing is we gonna be in the captain's room, operating the wheel and operating the directions and giving the orders. That's what we gonna be doing. He know what his lane is. That's cool. I don't mind. Shout out. Well, that's cool. Shout out to the Haitians and all of the non-FBAs who get it. If y'all get it, y'all get it. He get it. He got it. He know what's up. He know who in charge. He know who in charge. All right. Shout out to y'all. Y'all in charge. Okay. He just confirmed it.
Water. And you got an EP that came out and only sold 4,000 first week. And you got financial backing and all that. Please.
So what did we learn from this? First of all, we got to go ahead and throw out the disclaimer. Not all Black Americans think this way. There are a lot of Black people coming forward and defending Tyla for her use of the word colored and saying that's her word from her culture. And if we have a different connotation,
not really,
for that word, that's our connotation. We do not get to just burden somebody else with our history that they are completely uninvolved with. So shout out to the people who are reasonable in this. But for those who aren't, what we've also learned is that You're dealing with a particularly sensitive group of people who, at the slightest bit of offense, are going to withdraw all sorts of support from you. Is that the type of group of people you want to be dealing with? Probably not. And now they're claiming responsibility for this album flopping. I don't even know the metrics on that. I look up Tyla on Spotify. She's getting tens of millions of monthly listeners, even on this new EP. I don't even know who's really buying albums anymore and how to gauge, less than 4,000 sales in your first week. But nonetheless, let's say Black America is responsible for the lack of moving and shaking when it comes to this album. It's not really a dig at Tyla. It's more a dig at how insane some of our political conversations have become in this country, how divisive things can be. When you throw out a word that is not even derogatory and you can create this many waves amongst a group of sensitive people, that's what we've learned here. But let's watch another one.
She was touted as the next big thing.
All of that, us being sensitive and us, no. We're going to play a little bit more because I'm going to get to her response after this. But all of that sensitive, you can call it what you want to call it. You can call it what you want to call it. I want to call it in charge. How about that? I like that. I like that one. I'm going to call it just being in charge, being in command. I like that. That's good to me. I like that one. Now, you can call it sensitive, but you gonna speak under your breath because you're gonna fall in line. That's all it is.
She was seen as the next Rihanna, a foreign singer breaking into the African-American music market and end up being a massive international star. However, Rihanna actually did take the time to understand and educate herself into said market that she was trying to tap into. Tyla never did that. And when she had the opportunity to clear things up, she turned it down. It also doesn't help when your friends from South Africa double down even harder, where they start blaming and getting upset with African Americans over a term that is offensive to us. But we are not in South Africa. And she was trying to tap into our market. She wanted our dollars. She wanted us to buy her merch, her albums, go to her shows. And from what I've seen everyone say, how does she bounce back? When the reality is, there is no bouncing back, especially when it comes to tapping into the American music market. Even when you're one of the most massive international stars with a career spanning decades, is it still really difficult for you to break in? Hell, even for American artists, it's extremely hard for American artists to break in to the American music market. The reality is, the conversation that she needs to have with her team is how can she pivot and how can she have a fruitful international career? There is no bouncing back from this. She had a shot and she blew it.
So there you go. I guess that's how fragile your relationship is with people who support your artistry and your music. You use a word, again, in a not even offensive way, and boom, the relationship is apparently over and you can't bounce back. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think Tyla's going to go on to have a very successful career, and I guess we'll all see that take place or not take place in the future. But really what this video substantiates is the
No, I don't know about that. Because when Foundation Black Americans, when we say something, we mean it. Okay? When we say something, we mean that. Give y'all, in case y'all didn't know, breaking news, kind of not breaking news, but breaking news. Did you guys know that the CEO, the Kenyan CEO of Essence, has just stepped down? The Kenyan CEO of Essence, this Tether, who is sitting up there trying to make this All Lives Matter Africanized Essence Festival and culturally erase foundational Black American culture from Essence, which started with foundational Black American culture, trying to erase that and put a whole bunch of African stuff in there. And then we said hell no to that. And now, in order for them to try to clean things up, they got to move people out they seats. Now, still, is this meaning that we're going to return to Essence next year? No, it's not what that means. Not what that means at all. But for all of the people who was all like, oh, Essence is going to be fine. Essence is going to be great. Oh, Essence don't need y'all. Why y'all tripping? Tons of people had fun. Why is she stepping down then? I thought y'all said Essence was going to be okay. I thought y'all said y'all didn't need us there. I thought y'all said people had fun. Is that the same way South African said Tyla didn't need to apologize? Is that the same way South African said Tyla don't need us either? Is that the same way that happened? Because it seemed like every time y'all say, we don't need y'all, we got it, we got it, we got it. Then next thing you know, you're giving it up. Next thing you know, you don't get it. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. This is just reinforcing what we're saying. This is validating what we said to be true. Okay, Like I said, this is a pecking order and everybody gonna fall in line. If we got the damn CEO of Essence Festival stepping down, that's showing you some power right there. That's showing you we got some say-so, no matter how much y'all dislike it, no matter how much y'all don't like it, no matter how much y'all hate it, it won't go away. It's here to stay now. It's here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. Oh, it's not going nowhere, man. It's not going nowhere. Okay. So yeah, sorry, no, your chances of being Candace is close, because Candace, when she walked through the door, she walked through and she really activated something that y'all don't understand. She really activated a lot of the delineation. Candace is a big reason why we all understood the importance of delineating. Okay. So Candace was kind of like a double-edged sword to a lot of the Tethers and a lot of the anchor babies, because Candace really amplifies why delineation is so important and why we got to do that. So yeah, she was doing damage and she was making fun of George Floyd. She made documentaries about George Floyd. She was talking about Breonna Taylor, our sister. She was talking about Ahmaud Arbery. She was talking about Trayvon Martin, BLM, the Black community, Juneteenth, all of that stuff. Yeah, but that sword also is double-edged. So now that's tearing into the upcoming Tethers, because now it's forced us to have a response to it. So now we got our guards up. So now Tethers can't come in no more. So all in all, it was kind of like a good thing. Let me get to some of the super chats real quick, because I don't want to get too far, because we still got some more stuff we got to discuss. All right. Shout out to BX. BX says, remind me to discuss membership option setup, which, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it. Thank you. Tom Slick says, drowning is a hell of a thing. Oh, it is, man. It is. Drowning is tough. It's tough. It's tough. Sister Nisi says, ABK FOO FAFO season. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Keep Black American dollars in your pockets. Absolutely. Oh, it's about to be a change, a good change, a rough change, but a good change. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's get to Tell It Like It Is. Tell It Like It Is says, they let us do all the heavy lifting and lay all the bricks, then lock us out. Yeah, you ain't lying. Okay, we reckon everything. Everybody is about to get this. Everybody about to get this work. That's true. Run with us or run from us. It's no option. It's our way or the highway. Okay, it's our way or the highway. That Haitian man who made that video about Tyla, he got it. He got it. It's our way or the highway. The new Candace folk, all that stuff. And no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Now, we got somebody else who's trying to be the next Candace. You got this person, Carmen Jassie, or whatever the case is. I looked up her background, couldn't find that much on her background, even though she claims to be a Black American. But you already know they all claim to be a Black American. So you got to take everything they say with a grain of salt, really. But she claims to be a Black American. So we're just going to put her in the yet to be confirmed pile. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Because just because you claim it, you had the other one, Amala Obi-Wan Kenobi. Amala Obi-Wan Kenobi. She was claiming to be a Black American and she got exposed. So with her, yeah, her last name is Jassie or something like that. So yeah, it don't really stand out, but you're in the yet to be confirmed suspected Tether pile right there. That's what you're gonna be, because you know I don't ever say it unless I can confirm it, and I can't confirm it, but I do suspect it. Gonna keep it honest. Okay, but we all know the situation going on with Amanda. Okay, we know that situation. Okay, and I'm gonna get to her, but something else I want to get to before that is we already had the Angolian Tether who was up there, and he's kind of eating well, quote unquote. He's eating well off the whole getting into it with Amanda. And this is why the anchor baby stuff is not working out. This is why we got to stop that and show why delineation is so damn important. Come on, computer, don't be slow right now. I appreciate y'all. If y'all could hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate that. Let me show y'all this. So apparently, computer, don't do that to me. Come on, it's a little embarrassing. All right. So apparently, that dude who goes by Matt Nuclear, he was on. Needs to play.
Okay. Black community in general and in
He was
politics. And so I kind of had
program.
kind of my arguments already, worked out. I already knew certain things that I wanted to go in there and say and make points of. And so I kind of went in with the flow with those types of arguments.
So you're 18, obviously you're Black. And so there are a lot of questions that I think people have, whenever there's a racial or ethnic minority who votes Republican, and this is happening a lot now. I mean, there's been a big movement in the Black community, particularly among young men, toward the Republican Party, toward President Trump. It's happening with Hispanic young men. Obviously, I'm Jewish. Even the Jewish vote has been moving toward the Republicans and President Trump. When this happens, people start asking the question, so what exactly is going on? Right. There's now generational difference between me and you. I remember when I was the 18-year-old phenom, I'm now 41. So tell me, what exactly is happening among your peer group that is leading young men in particular, and also young Black men in specific, to move toward President Trump?
See, and this is why Ben Shapiro got Candace. And this is why Ben Shapiro is trying to recruit the next Black coon. That's what he's trying to do. But the thing is, Ben, let me tell you right now, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because we already got him exposed. He's already filed. He's already categorized as a tether. So what you were able to do with I'm trying to let y'all know. I'm trying to give y'all some game. What you were able to get away with Candace already had a big profile before she got on. She was already known before she got on the Daily Wire. He went viral a little bit, but the thing is that tether's not going to make it nowhere. He's already been exposed. His first big showing is him getting checked for being a tether. He's not going nowhere. And Ben can be all like, well, as a Black, you see, as a Black, tell me why the Blacks are going to Trump. He can't tell you because he's a tether. He can speak for young tethers. He cannot speak for foundational Black Americans, which is what you would want him to do. You want him to be able to speak for foundational Black Americans, but he can't do that. So Ben is really wasting his time right now. It doesn't matter what platform he goes on from now on. Anytime he says, well, as a Black man, he can't do that. The door has been shut. It's locked. It's sealed. You don't get to speak on us. As a Black man, I woke. No. We're going to play a little bit more of it. But this is what they're used to doing. Now, if we didn't know he was a tether, if we didn't see this episode before and we didn't know he was a tether, they would make it seem like this was a young Black American. They would make it seem like this was a young FBA brother who woke up from the quote unquote left and decided to face the reality of the world. That's what they would have marketed him as. He's the next up. He's woken from the liberal brainwashing of Black Lives Matter. That's what they would have marketed him as. But the thing is that he already been exposed. He's already been exposed. You can't market him as nothing but a tether. He's already been marked. It's over. It's done. He's done. He can enjoy his 15 minutes of fame because that's all he's going to have.
I think just the truth. I think going over data, going over the facts, understanding what is going on in America, understanding that the Democratic Party has been consistently lying to us and not giving it.
You see that? He's still trying to cosplay. The Democratic Party has been consistently lying to us. He is 18 years old. He just got the ability to vote. This dude is 18 years old. He's just regurgitating a damn talking point. This is not something that he's learned. He's regurgitating a talking point. He ain't been voting for nobody. And he wasn't even born in America, but yet he's talking as if he's us, okay? Cosplaying still, even after he's been exposed. Because the thing is that he can't brand himself as a Angolian immigrant and be marketable. He was only marketable and valuable if he was FBA. That's the only way he would have any bit of credibility or any bit of authority to speak on the black community, which is why he's still trying to like low key market himself as a FBA.
That's the truth on how to fix the issues within the black community. I'm continuously telling us that it's external oppression that we can't find. We can't find the laws that are, systemically oppressing black.
Notice the hold on, the us and the we and all of that stuff. Come on.
Black people. We elected a black president.
Right? You can play a drinking game with how many times he said we. This man has said we like 5-6 times already in the last 10 seconds.
Right? Barack Obama, the majority of Americans that were white voted for him. This country is not a majority racist country whatsoever. So when we see all of those facts and we see these disparities that still exist, we have to say that there's some other reason for these disparities other than just discrimination, because this is kind of like a presupposition that I think the left has a lot of the time, is which if you see disparities between these ethnic groups, there must be some sort of discrimination. And so what I really wanted to ask her as well, I did mention the median household income of East Asians. I wanted to ask her, are the East Asians oppressing the white people? Is that how they make more? Like, it's because that's the kind of thing they make more. And
notice he said East Asians. This is something I said when I made my thing. When they talk about Asians, they're not talking about all Asians. They're only talking about a specific ethnic group of Asians, but they categorize it as Asians. All Asians ain't doing that great. Only a small ethnic group, only a small percentage of the Asian population is really doing anything like above black Americans. So anytime they talk about, man, Asians is doing great. Asian, nah, not really. You got some Chinese people who is doing cool. I mean, they doing above average in comparison to the rest of the Asian population, which is already small, but they're not really doing anything significant like that. No, they're not. And he's still trying to cosplay because the only way he can be marketable is if he was FBA.
If you make less or whatever, you must be getting suppressed or oppressed or something like that, which I don't just buy into, right?
So, I mean, that attitude, I think, obviously is a better attitude for the country generally. I think one of the worst things that's been happening, I do think it's happening on the left predominantly, but you're even seeing hints of it on the right, are this sort of victim mentality where America is an oppressor country and it's somehow oppressing your particular identity group, and therefore nobody can get ahead. In America, it seems like more and more young people are rejecting that message, particularly young men, because the alternative is really, really enervating. It's basically saying to young people, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, you can't get ahead because there's some sort of shadowy conspiratorial force that is...
I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, Ben. It's just his voice is just cringe. It's so cringy to me. His voice is incredibly cringy. He has one of the most cringy voices online. I really cannot. I can't really. I don't know if it's his posture, because Ben talk like. I don't know why, like, I think he thinks he's like some type of evil villain or something like that. I don't know why Ben sits, and Ben kind of sits with his, like, I don't know if he has scoliosis or something. I'm not trying to make fun of nobody with disability. YouTube don't, I don't know if Ben has scoliosis. I don't know if he does. I'm not bullying him, but I just don't get, like, his body posture is like he's a humpback or something like that. Not to diss humpbacks, YouTube. I'm just saying, it's like he's like, I don't know why he like limps over, like, and then he kind of looks up at the camera and he talks like maybe he can't breathe. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not making fun of nobody with a disability or something, but I think because he's like skinny, so maybe his windpipe needs more muscle structure to it, and then he kind of like he's like a humpback like that. I don't know why. And then he tries to talk super fast like this. Like I don't know what it is. It just irks me. It does, and I can't listen to it that much because it's I can't do it. I try sometimes. I just can't really do it like that. I gotta like edit it and then like slow it and then deepen the voice so I can like tolerate it. But yeah, he's out here talking about, foundational Black Americans. That Tethers out here talking about foundational Black Americans. And what I find very interesting is that you got some of the conservatives who ain't even on that page, who don't like the fact that you got Tethers. You got Even among the damn massa-loving Sambos, they trying to delineate. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Have you guys, well, where is it? Come on now. Why did it do like that? Y'all look at this. They delineating among the massa lovers. They delineating. Rob Smith has said a couple of things. He don't like that. And he like, hey man, we're gonna have to delineate from these tethers. How you got the damn coons delineating? That's how deep it is. We got the coons and ass kissing massa lovers delineating. That's how deep we got it.
Why these Africans have? All right, can somebody please tell me why these?
What's so bad about having Africans?
What happened? Hold on.
All right, can somebody please tell me why these Africans have so many ideas about how to fix Black America and how to fix America, but they can't even fix their own countries. They can't even fix Angola. They can't even fix Ghana. They can't fix Nigeria. They can't fix Jamaica. They can't fix Haiti. God knows they can't fix Haiti because that has been a hot mess for generations. But yet they come here and they have all these ideas about what America should do for Black people and how America has failed and how America should be fixed and how Trump is bad and how Republicans are bad and how what Black Americans need to do. I will tell you this, Africans, please go fix your own countries. Please take all of this energy and all of these ideas to your countries. Take them to Haiti because Haiti's a hot mess. Take it to Nigeria, because I know what's going on in Nigeria. Take it to Angola, take it to Ghana, take it to Jamaica, take it to all of these different places, but you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to come over here, insert yourself into Black American issues, and by the way, use everything that we have fought for and built for to go insert yourself into places, but that quite frankly, you have not earned. All right. So the message from this Black American, and my family has been here for generations, baby. I'm not some African. I'm a Black American. And so my advice to you is go fix your own countries before you come tell us about our issues. All right. Can somebody please tell me why these?
Well, damn. Even the massa lovers is delineating. That's interesting. So hey, we're gonna let that infighting be because they going back and forth now. We're gonna let that infighting be. They ain't nobody's friends, not our friends, not on that side. They not our friends, and we're not gonna sit up there and defend none of them. But find that very interesting that they're doing that. Couldn't help but notice that that's what they own. That's the type of time they own. Now he is. I will give it the thing. He's right, but he's right because he's copying us. This is what we've been saying for years. Okay, now they were able to say, hey, y'all, these immigrants come over with $5 and they do better than y'all with $5 just because of their culture. Now he's flipping the script. Now he's grifting. Now he's out here saying, well, immigrants, y'all go back and fix your home countries. Go back and fix Nigeria. Go back and fix Haiti. Go back and fix this. Go back and fix this. So all of a sudden, now you're starting to see the whole $5 immigrant excuse that they use and narrative that they use. They're stopping that. So even some of the damn conservatives, the massa loving conservatives, they're delineating. Okay, he feel a little bit salty because his damn crush, his zaddy, you know what I'm saying, because he played for the other team, so his zaddy is giving Angolian boy a little bit more attention, and he don't like that. He don't like the fact that his zaddy, his little crush, Ben Shapiro, he all like, how you get on Ben Shapiro's show and not me before I did? That's not fair. So he feeling a little type of way. Oh, but damn, okay. Let the villains fight each other. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me get some of these super chats real quick. Okay. McCoy sends a super sticker. Thank you very much. Let's see, who is this person? Let me see. Hazel. I'm just gonna say Hazel. Says that uneducated Angolian is lost because he grew up around white people. He did, and his parents let him. His parents, he got a lot of that from his parents, probably enabled all of that. William, my brother, he says, hey, Matt Nuclear, Ben Shapiro still doesn't like you. He don't. And if Matt Nuclear was shot down tomorrow by the police, Ben Shapiro would be justifying that. All right. My brother Cyberdon says, what'd he say? Come on now, don't do that. He says, I got my t-shirt on deck. Thanks, Afro. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Y'all get yourself some merch, man. We got some good merch. Tell it like it is says, Ben got bussy damage from getting his back blown out. Yeah. I mean, it probably, more than likely, probably. I ain't gonna be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not surprised if that's the case. I'm not surprised. But a lot of people talking about the situation with Amanda. A lot of people was talking about that interview, and then you had the next wannabe Candace Owens. She had to pop up and she had to say something about it. You know, we've discussed her before, but she wanted to pop up and say a little something. So we're gonna play what she had to say. Because she's trying to be the next Candace Owens, but it's not going to work for her either. Pull this video up. Here we go. All right. There we go.
All right, guys. So on top of me being sick and under the weather, I had trouble with my upload yesterday. I was having a little trouble with using the Jubilee video. So I'm not going to use the video in this episode, but I'm still going to go through all of my thoughts. I know most of you already know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, Amanda Seales went on Jubilee surrounded by 20 Black conservatives. And let me tell you guys, it was jaw-dropping how delusional she is. I am not kidding. She is a full-blown Black supremacist. She admits to being a Black supremacist and call herself a radical. But let's be clear.
Now, she's calling Amanda. Now, here's the thing. This don't mean that Amanda can represent us, because we still gonna have to talk about Amanda. We there's some stuff we got to talk about Amanda. We're gonna talk about Amanda tonight. Okay. But she's saying she's a full-blown Black supremacist, and as she's going around denying any bit of white supremacy at all. Out here denying that in any way possible. Okay. Just keep that in mind.
She's nothing more than an undercover commie, because all these so-called radicals are pushing the same tired Marxist garbage. Amanda Seales is not helping the Black community. She's dragging Black people deeper into their victims.
Marxist is their new dog whistle, so y'all know. Marxist is the new dog whistle. Marxist, they used to call Dr. King a communist, okay, which he wasn't. So now they're using the whole Marxist as the new anti-American. What they're trying to do is trying to make everything be anti-American. They're trying to make us seem anti-patriotic, like we want some type of destruction of America. Remember, if you guys were here when we did that call-in last week and somebody called in talking about, I want America to fall on the sword. Okay, well, that sounds kind of anti-American. What does that mean? I don't know. No. We don't do that. I don't want America to be destroyed. I live here. My family built here. We don't want the death of America. We don't want the fall of America. We want the fall of the system of white supremacy. But that's not just in America. That's everywhere in the world. We want that to fall, not the country in and of itself. No, we don't want the destruction of the country in and of itself. These are certain people who are like, remember that other Tether, that Panamanian Tether? These are quote unquote who claim to be activists. These are not activists. These are really anarchists who just don't like anything. We're not that. We don't like specific racial hierarchy, subjugation, and oppression. All right. And they keep trying to frame that as Marxism. Okay. Because and they always use certain dog whistles to group all of us in together. It used to be social justice warriors. Then it used to be Black Lives Matter. Then it used to be this. Then it used to be this. They always updated. I mean, now it's Marxist. Okay. Now anybody who says anything against white supremacy is a Marxist. Okay. That's what they do to discredit you. They'll call you a Marxist. No proof to back that up, but they'll say that. So just be looking out for that. You're hearing that a lot. If you guys pay attention, you'll hear that a lot coming soon.
Hood. She didn't walk into the room to elevate anybody. She walked in to perform and to act like she's better than everybody. And honestly, every single point she tried to make either collapsed under basic logic or got flipped into another guilt trip routine. This was Amanda Seales showing us how cultural delusion get dressed up as radical thinking, but it's the same poison keeping us stuck. And the truth is, if we're still living off the same ideology of people had lived from 50 and 60 years ago, people who only thought that way because of the time period they lived in, to hold on to that now is completely ridiculous. So today we're going to break it down and expose just how toxic her little performance was. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am Carmen JC. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, make sure you hit the super thanks or the Buy Me Coffee link below. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with her big opener. Reparations are undeniable and necessary. Like, can we be effing for real? Here's the reality. According to the 1860 U.S. Census, less than 2% of white Americans owned slaves. Most white people did not own slaves then, and 0 of them own slaves now. People that own slaves is dead. Our ancestors are dead. So explain to me why people who never owned slaves should be cutting checks to people who never picked cotton. Can we make this make sense? And not to mention, who's going to pay for it? You, me, taxpayers? It's not free. We saw what happened when we had stimulus checks and PPP loans. That money didn't fix anything. It got blown. Then Amanda wants to throw out this little guilt trip. Well, if you believe in hard work, don't you believe your ancestors should be paid for theirs? Can we be for real again? Welfare was reparations. Affirmative action was reparations. Let's not forget, since the 1960s, America has dumped over $1 trillion into welfare programs. That right there was the payout. That was the reparations. And instead of building on that, too many people got comfortable living off of it. And at some point, the training wheels have to come off. Merit is a part of being American. You have to compete. You have to work. You have to fight like everybody else. No one is cutting checks for free ambition.
Okay, let me give advice to the wannabe Candaces, even though there's not going to be, we're not ever going to let there be another Candace Owens, but let me give y'all a little bit of advice. You guys are going to have to update your counter arguments. You're going to have to update your propaganda. You're going to have to do that. The whole, well, welfare is really reparations. Welfare is reparations. No, that's already been debunked. You're going to have to update your arguments against reparations. You can't keep using the welfare thing. You could use it before when we first started talking about reparations. When we first started it, then you could bring up welfare. But now too many people in the society already know about welfare, affirmative action, and DEI. We've done so much to educate people. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. We've done too much to educate people. So everybody now knows that most welfare, the main beneficiaries of that are white people, just like the main beneficiaries of affirmative action are white women, just like the main beneficiaries of DEI are white women. Most people already know that. So for you to come out here and say, well, reparations, you guys had that through welfare, which was never supposed to make you equal to society. That's not what welfare is in the first place. But you had that with welfare, affirmative action, and you had that with all of this stuff. And we're showing you that you got white women, and then you have Asians who benefit primarily. Then you have Hispanics, who are the last on the list when it comes to all of these government assistance programs and set-asides and initiatives. You got to update your talking points. You can't use the same outdated Candace Owens talking points, but that's all you got, because you want to be a Candace, and she's going to show it in this video. She wants to be a Candace. Yeah, but you're going to have to work a little bit harder than that, because Candace she milked that cow dry, baby. She milked that cow dry. You're going to have to come up with something new.
And let me add one more dose of reality. Amanda might not know this, but every single one of us as Americans is already born into debt. The U.S. is trillions of dollars in debt. So no, we do not need to add more burdens. We do not need more handouts, more freebies. We need more people working, building, contributing, and not sitting back waiting for government checks. And let's be clear, Amanda herself is a descendant of an immigrant. Her mother wasn't even from this country, and that's exactly why people like her latch onto these issues without truly understanding them. They project themselves into struggles that wasn't theirs, instead of listening to the people like me and others whose family have been here for hundreds of years, people who actually lived it. Did I say I'm not a victim?
Now, this is another time she's like, whose family has been here for hundreds of years. So what she's trying to do now, like I said, I can't confirm or deny, but notice she's throwing that out there because she understands it's a competition. If you guys have ever seen Game of Thrones, this is a Game of Thrones, and Candace Owens has just got up off that seat. And it's a competition she feels like is going on. So what she feels like is her advantage is she gonna use her ancestors. She's gonna feel like, okay, my advantage is I'm gonna keep throwing out the fact that I'm actually from here. I'm a Black American. That's the advantage she feels she has over her. Okay. Now, if you want to compare apples to apples, Amila Obi-Wan Kenobi has been here for a longer time and has a bigger profile, but she's a tether, okay? And she's biracial. She feels like, well, because I'm not a tether, or at least they don't know I'm not a tether, I'm gonna ride that, and I'm gonna use my lineage as credibility. So notice that they keep doing that. Okay, notice that they keep doing that. Now you got a lot of the damn Sambos who are actually specifying their lineage now. Notice that, okay, because they feel like that gives them credibility over the ass kissing pecking order.
It is because I've lived it. I know I can do whatever I want in this country. Amanda will look at me in the face and tell me, no, what kind of delusional person does that? Reparations won't fix discipline. Reparations won't raise children. Reparations won't bring fathers back into the household. What we need is stronger families, worth ethic, and accountability. Not another check that keeps us sitting still. Because the way it's looking, if Black people keep acting barbaric and animalistic, we'll be back in chains in no time. And I hate to say it, but just look at the behavior. And if you remember, I played this video of Charleston White a couple weeks ago. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
One of them is a race of people who was in bondage and enslaved. Another one is a group of people who is everything that they said
I'm
those
skip
people
past
were.
that because I don't know if this is going to give me a copyright. Skip past that a little bit.
There's nothing good Black people do today besides play sports, and they play.
But here's the thing: nobody, and you can bring up Charleston White, but the thing is, Charleston White don't really got no credibility. Nobody takes Charleston White serious. I'm gonna be honest. Nobody takes Charleston White serious. Charleston White can say whatever he wants to. Charleston White is known as a damn troll. He's a grifter. He will say one thing one day, and then on another interview, he'll say another thing another day. He'll completely take back everything he said. We already documented that on this channel. So Charleston White has already closed the door on himself. You can play him all you want to. Ain't nothing you gonna have to say about him. Anything comes from him discredits your own credibility, because he will say one thing, and then if it suits him, he will take all of that back the next day and say the total opposite. Nobody cares about this bug-eyed, skinny, little, frail, bug-looking dude.
White folks good. We ain't good no more. It's some individual good people, but collectively, nigga, we fucked up, tainted, poisoned, and we cannot keep continuing making babies, nigga. This group have to be destroyed, nigga. We have to be wiped out, homie, because of the hearts of this group of Black people, homie. We too hateful. We don't even love each other. We don't like white people. We don't like nobody. We have become the new slave master. The white boy used to be mean to everybody. When the white man go to everybody's establishment, what do? He complains, hey, get in here, get me a waitress. Knock his drink on the table, spill shit, unruly. That's us now, my nigga. Every establishment we go in, we just like that white boy used to be.
Now, Candace Owens is going to give us a brief history of slavery, and this is going to be a little long, but I think we should watch it because it is very important. Let's go ahead and take a listen. For a brief history.
Now look, what did I say? Here she's bringing up her mama. No, not her mama, but her aspiration. Look at her bringing up her big sister. None other than Candace Owens, the woman she aspires to be like. None other than Candace Owens, her big sister. The woman she's walking in the footsteps of. Now, we're going to skip past this. Because Candace is going to, and this is why we ain't forgiving Candace, even though Candace is sitting up there trying to walk back a lot of that anti-Black racism. This is what Candace was on. We're going to play a little bit of this, not the whole thing. We're going to play a little bit, but this is why we are not forgiving Candace. This was years ago. Candace was way too damn deep, and this is why the door was closed.
History of slavery. Here's the first thing you need to know. Slavery was not invented by white people. It did not start in 1619 when the first slaves came to Jamestown. It existed before then. It did not start in 1492 when Columbus discovered the New World. In fact, when the intrepid explorer landed in the Bahamas, the native Taino tribe hoped that he would help them defeat their aggressive neighbors, the Caribs. The Caribs enslaved the Taino and, on occasion, served them for dinner. Slavery existed in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the Ottoman Turks. It was so common that...
Technically speaking, there was no quote-unquote like white people about that time. The whole concept of white, Black, Asian, that wasn't around during that time.
Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. Here's the second thing you need to know. White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery. In 1833, Britain was the first country in the history of the world to pass a Slavery Abolition Act. They were quickly followed by France, who in 1848 abolished slavery in her many colonies. Then, of course, came the 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution.
None of that stuff is true. They skip past a lot of stuff. And this is Candace. Candace skips past a lot of stuff so she can give credit to white people ending slavery. That's not what happened. They were not the first people to end that, but we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Systemic racism, even if there is systemic racism, you have to be resilient through it. So Amanda's third claim, systemic racism isn't just a theory, it's our lived reality backed by facts, stats, and data. Amanda can say facts and stats all she wants, but reality does not back her up. Nobody denies history, but we're in 2025. It's not 1865, not 1965. The system she's crying about was dismantled decades ago, and it was replaced by the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, affirmative action, DEI programs, minority scholarships. That is not oppression. That sounds like a head start to me. And if systemic racism is so powerful, how come Nigerians, Ghanaians, and Jamaicans come here and out-earn Black Americans? Same skin, same country, but different results. Meanwhile, too many.
Now, same skin, same country, a different result. Now, you see that she got to update. Listen, you got to update your damn anti-Black talking points because that's not working no more. How come they come over here and get different results? How come they come over here and be successful? How come they come over here and they're doing great and you're not doing great? And that just must mean that you're lazy. Okay. I mean, we don't have to play too more of that. But the thing is that, yeah, you're trying to use you're trying to parry a lot of the anti-Black talking points that you've heard from Candace Owens and try to sit up there and replicate and regurgitate all of this stuff. But the thing is that, yeah, that stuff not going to work no more. You want to talk about how come everybody coming over here doing so well, but actually, when you look at stuff like this, let me show you. When you look at stuff like this, you will find that they not really coming over here with all of this hard work and merit and good culture and values and all of this morality that y'all brag about. Look at this. Did y'all hear this? Hold on.
Listen, I meant to tell you this. What Delta in Minnesota, they fired like 500 people. Most of them were Africans, right? This is what these motherfuckers did. So Delta has this thing where when you have bereavement, they give you up to like $2,500 to like $5,000, depending on the person that died to you and the significance, right? So everybody was dying. Everybody had somebody dying. Black people are so horrible. You know what they did?
Don't say Black. No, don't do that. Put Nigerian's name on it. Don't do that. Put a name on it. Because if they was all going to college or getting a scholarship, you would say Nigerian. Don't make it universal when it's negative. They put the race on it. They the whole no. Put a name on it. It was Nigerians. Don't do that.
These motherfuckers was using the same death certificate. They were passing it around, and they were just changing the name, not the number. Wow. Nigga, they fired all of them. So now, no Blacks working at Delta.
Well, there'll be Blacks, but no Africans.
Ain't gonna be no Africans working at Delta. Are you guys serious?
What y'all
like
fucked up?
500 Nigerians was all in it. All
money. You guys was really passing around the
How to do better, can you?
Black people. No, it was the Africans. It was like Liberians and Nigerians.
Oh, see, yeah,
that's terrible.
Better. Come on, man.
Okay, come on now. Now, when y'all come over here talking about, well, we don't be doing that, and why do they come over here and do so well? No, they be scamming, they be plotting and scheming and stealing and all that stuff. You didn't hear about no Black American doing that. You don't hear about these big scams and operations, because that's a whole operation. You can have a few people who might try to cheat the system. you might have a handful of people who might try to scam and get over or whatever the case is. Maybe, 2, 3, 4, at best 5. There is 500. 500. That's 100 plus 200 plus another 300. Okay. Well, not 100 plus 200. That's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. 500 Nigerians. That's an operation. That's a whole operation. You can't tell me that that's not something that's indicative of their culture if they're doing it in that high numbers. If Black Americans, if 500 FBAs got arrested for anything, everybody and their mama would be talking about it. Whether it was scamming, whether it was drugs, whether it was some type of plot, credit card, everybody would be talking about it. And they would be all like, yeah, you see, that's their culture. That's their culture. You see what they got going on? You don't see this about no Bloods, 500 of them at a time. No Bloods, Crips, GDs, BDs, no Black American gang where 500 people get locked up at the same time. That's a damn near RICO charge. They sitting up there got Little Dirk in prison right now trying to get him on a RICO. They need to be getting him on a RICO. That's who you need to be getting on. They focusing on Little Dirk and Young Thug when it comes to RICO, but they ain't focused on the real people actually operating the RICO. They're coming over here. A lot of them not coming over here legally. A lot of them coming over here staying past their visas. A lot of them coming over here doing that. Okay, having anchor babies and all this. They're coming over here doing all this, dropping all this stuff. And then they committing these massive amounts of crimes. And I want you guys to understand something. If 500 people got caught, that means at least a couple thousand people knew about it. That's it. 500 people didn't get caught and only 500 people knew about it. I hope y'all understand that's not how crime works. That means everybody they knew about it, okay? Because nobody died in the family. They were passing around one single death certificate. So I want you to take that number and then just double it or triple it. So like about 1,000 people knew about that. And they want to talk about our culture. They got the audacity and the nerve to talk about our culture. No, we're not going to do that. They will sit up there and talk about their values and how great they are and how much the culture they have. They will brag about that and lie about that. Hold on, let me show y'all this.
Non-Black.
Hold on, let me show y'all this. Hold on. Pull this up. Look at this. Tether with a damn snow bunny.
For all of the non-Black people in here, let me break something down about Black men in general. Anytime you see Black people, do not put us in the same book. There's different type of Black men. There's Black men who was raised with culture. I'm talking about who was raised with tradition, respect. These are the African Black men. African Black men were raised properly. We were brought up with respect. You respect your elders. You go to church every Sunday. You are to go to school and graduate and be somebody. We're a different type of Black men. I just want to make that clear to you guys.
You are. Yep, you are. Y'all a different type. Y'all are different. Y'all a different breed. You not like us. Because when you hear about all these scandals and schemes and plots and all of that stuff, how often do you hear about FBAs being even involved in that? I'm not talking about major participators in whatever plot and scheme they got going on, but how often do you hear us even being involved? How many people who was in that arrest, that massive arrest raid that they did? Okay. How many people were how many people did you was or a scam? I'm not gonna say scam or firing raid. How many people did you hear were FBAs? FBAs don't really get involved in that. They be doing this type of scam. They be doing nursing scams. A lot of them, they be bragging about being nurses and doctors and things like that. But truth be told, a lot of their degrees are not really legitimate. Truth be told. Okay. How many degrees do Black Americans fake? How many scandals have you heard of, like 40, 50 Black Americans have scammed and they got fake nursing degrees and fake doctor degrees or fake LLCs or fake what's that thing? Just fake degrees and licenses and stuff like that. Fake CDLs. How often do you hear? You don't hear that. You don't. But you hear that when it comes to Africans. But yet Africans will come over here. Now, I'm not sure where he's from. Some people saying he's Nigerian. I don't know if he's Nigerian. I know he's African. I know that for a fact. I know he's a tether. That's all I know for a fact. I know that. But yet they'll come over here and they'll brag about how well they're doing and how great they're doing, which is why they don't want us to delineate and differentiate when they do crimes, okay? Because when we start disaggregating all of the crime data, we're going to see a major chunk of the crime start to lean in on that side, lean in on their side.
I love African Americans, but as far as like how you're trained at home is different than how African kids are trained at home. Mm-hmm. We're trained to protect the women and to be very protective of your sisters, your wife, and you're the person that's lead the house. We're hunters. We go find the meat, bring it home, and that's how we're raised. The African American were not raised like that, which is why one of the reasons why you find a lot of baby mamas.
Okay.
In America, like
I just want to know. One question. I just want to know one question. Y'all know I got questions. Y'all know me, and y'all know I ask a lot of questions, right? My question is, why are you not in Africa, Mr. Protector and provider of your village and your family and your homeland and your tribe and your bloodline? Why are you not in Africa? Why are you in America? They be talking about, yeah, we go out and we protect our family. We go out and we provide for our family. You just fled. What are you talking about? You left your family back in your homeland. You got on a first thing with an engine to America. All right. And got next to a damn store. But this is giving me the vibe of what's that thing called Love is Blind or whatever thing where fat, chunky white women go and they get married to a Nigerian so he can get a green card. You left your whole family. All of that we protect and provide. And we go out and we get the sheep and the food and we bring it back to the village. They ain't trying to do that. He ain't trying to do that. He all up in a white woman trying to get his way to America. And I bet you he telling, and all of the when these non-FBAs are with the snow bunnies, none. I'm not trying to say snow bunnies look that good, but like they all look like that. Anytime you see one of these, especially him, you know what I'm saying? You can tell. You can tell he's trying to get a green card. This man is a tether trying to get with a green card. Okay. And this is a snow bunny who kind of a snow bunny who looked like a salad would do her well. I'm just saying, I don't want to be offensive, YouTube. I'm just saying it looked like a salad, maybe a treadmill every now and then would really help her out a little bit. Okay. That's what it looked like. It looked like every single year she got to go up a pair of jeans, go up a size. It looked like her midnight snack is a half of a pizza. That's what it looked like to me. And they go over there because in the white community, let me let y'all know something. In the white community, ain't nobody checking for her. In the white community, she is not no competition for nobody. Okay. So that's why she got to go to Africa. Because in Africa, you got men competing. You got the Africans trying to flee Africa. You got the fleers trying to compete with her. She go to the white community. Ain't nobody trying to check for her. She is the average Karen. Ain't nobody even checking for her like that. Even of the white women, she's not like no dime model white. She ain't gonna be on no magazine. She ain't gonna be on no model. She ain't gonna be on nothing like that. She looked like, and I don't even recommend plastic surgery, but if you could just kind of, she just ain't got it. And we all know what it is. But that's why they love Africans, because Africans be like, oh, you look so good. You look so good, baby. They all have a look. They all do. Don't be talking about Africans as doing well. You're with her like a white 4. That's not really nothing to brag about, man. You can't really brag about that. Those stereotypes are just not working no more. See, the thing is with her, even though let's say she might be FBA for the sake of the argument, let's say she might. The thing is that you're just not that smart. She's not smart, okay? She's not that smart because she's using an outdated playbook. She's using a playbook that's already been debunked. She's trying to follow behind the footsteps of Candace Owens. But the thing is that Candace Owens has already milked the cow dry. She just doesn't understand that yet. So she's never going to get to that level because there's nothing there for her. You don't play this video right now.
Many of us would rather scream racism than compete. Then we got the nerve to be mad about Africans and Caribbeans for coming here and telling us to do better and to be better. They're right. We just do not want to hear it. No self-awareness. Black people can hold. Like, they can't hold themselves accountable. They can't be told anything. Zero room for correction. And they just don't want to be accountable. And let's not pretend we don't have the resources. Black America generates $1.3 trillion a year, trillion with a T. And yet we blow it on Gucci, Louis, and Prada. We flex on Instagram. We pack out the clubs and the carnival cruises. But when it comes time to invest in schools and neighborhoods, suddenly we do not have the resources. Can we be effing for real? That is not systemic racism. That is systemic irresponsibility. And let me make this clearer. If systemic racism is real, why are whites and Asian working class Americans groups that have actually faced discrimination outworking everybody? Meanwhile, Black America is coasting on lower standards, begging for inclusion, pretending accountability is oppression. And the hypocrisy here is insane. We're the ones demanding Black-only spaces, dorms, graduations, voluntarily separating ourselves while screaming oppression. It is madness. And the man that want to act like MLK would be on her side. No, he wouldn't. He said to judge us by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. Yet in 2025, we're still demanding handouts based on our skin color. That is not civil rights. That is entitlement. And the truth is, people are tired, fed up. And it's not about racism anymore. It is about the barbaric, animalistic, disgusting behavior too many people in the Black community have normalized. The whining, the excuses, the handout mentality, acting like the world owes us everything. It is pathetic. It is tired. And until we throw away this crutch called systemic racism and start looking in the mirror, nothing changes and we stay stuck. So Amanda's final claim is that Black conservatism.
Oh, look, man, I'm going to say this. But I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get to some of the super chats. This is why fathers, you got to stick to you got to be in your daughter's life, man. You got to be in your daughter's life. You have to, okay? You got to be in your daughter's life. Otherwise, she's going to turn out like this. If you guys didn't know, she used to, years ago, like a decade ago, she used to be a model. Or at least she was an inspiring model. She was inspiring to be a model. She was an upcoming model. But she just really didn't have it like that. The modeling thing didn't really work out for her. So like we said before, and we established before, all of this anti-Blackness that they do on YouTube, all of this is a business. And they all think that there's some type of come up to this. But the thing is that there's no come up to this. When I say fathers, y'all got to stick in your daughter's life, because when the father is there and establish some type of principles and character, especially an FBA father will establish principles and characters in integrity. When the father's not there, integrity just doesn't go, it is gone. Her father was not no big factor in her life like that. She said so herself. Look at this.
Hey guys, so I kind of just wanted to share something to you that just happened to me in the moment, and I think it's just really important for us as women to, understand that a lot of men out here are suffering, they're suffering, and we need to give them grace how we give other women grace, so I just had a conversation with my dad, who I haven't really spoke to over like the last 10 years. And this whole time I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, I've given my mom so much grace, because my mom is not a perfect mom, but she loves me, as does my dad. But this whole time I gave my mom so much grace over the years, just allowing her to flourish and grow and growing with her. But when it came to my dad, it was just pure anger. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to have a relationship with him because of his mistakes is kind of illogical. But right now in this moment, I just realized that, you know, we have to give men more grace. And just like women have a hard time, men have a hard time too. And I hope this helps someone out there. This is why I'm sharing it, not because I want some attention, but I really do just hope this helps somebody or anything, because it's just so important that we get right with ourselves and get right with our loved ones. I hope this helps you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Oh boy. All right. Okay. Oh, look. Let me tell y'all something. As a foundational Black American, which is why now she might be on one side, but I want you guys to keep in mind, a lot of people who will say, well, yeah, I'm a Black American. That don't mean you Black American on both sides. Where is your father from who wasn't in your life like that? Or where was your mother from who wasn't in your life like that? Because we got to remember, Amanda Seale's father is FBA, but her father wasn't in her life like that. So she got all of her upbringing from her Grenadian mother. So we got to think, just because somebody claims FBA, that don't mean they FBA on both sides. That don't mean that both their parents is FBA or they were raised in the FBA household. It doesn't mean that. You can clearly tell she wasn't raised by both her parents. Okay. I don't know what this girl got going on with her family or whatever the case is, but do you see this type of environment? And this environment brings a bit of disingenuousness. It allows for you to have this kill or be killed mentality. You know what I'm saying? This broken home allows for this mentality of divorce consciousness, where you can sit up here and you can attack Black people and continue to further collaborate with white supremacy in enabling the subjugation of foundational Black Americans for pay. Because she doesn't really have any morality. She doesn't really have any dignity. Okay. She grew up in a broken home, clearly. And I'm not even sure if that home is FBA home, but she grew up in a broken home. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the fact that her father wasn't in her life. I hate the fact that anybody's father isn't in your life, but that does not give you an excuse for anything that you're doing. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. You can cry me a river. I don't care. Oh, boo-hoo. And I'm not trying to say that that's not significant. I don't know what her family got going on. But the thing is that once you cross the community, you can't make a video talking about, I just talked to my daddy in 10 years and he wasn't really there for me. And I realized that he wasn't as bad of a guy that I thought he was. You're not getting no sympathy from nobody. You might as well suck up all them tears. You might as well suck all that stuff up. We ain't buying it. We don't care. You can cross the river somewhere else. Okay? Once you stepped out of the community, once you start turning against the community, a community that you claim to be a part of, a lineage that you claim to be a part of, all right? And if you are a part of that, that makes you a double traitor. You're betraying your own lineage. So you want to talk about some daddy issues? There's a whole bunch of foundational Black Americans in this chat right now, okay, who grew up and they had some issues going on in their family. It don't matter how good your mom is. It doesn't matter how good your dad is. They're not perfect. Nobody has perfect parents. Nobody at all. Nobody has an absolute perfect family. Nobody at all. It does not exist. Your parents are human beings and human beings have flaws. Your mom has flaws. Your dad has flaws. Everybody listening right now has some type of issue in their family. Everybody, including me. And I'm not saying my family's bad. I'm not trying to say that, but my family's not perfect because my family is human. I'm not perfect because I'm human, but that does not give me an excuse or a rationale or some type of pass to betray the community. So it doesn't give her no pass to betray the community either. Yeah, a lot of people got daddy issues, baby girl, but they ain't no pass. That's no excuse. That's no nothing. I could give a damn. I was about to say something else. I could give a damn what you got going on. That's no pass. That's no excuse. That's a betrayal of the community, and we're going to treat it as such. And you're not going to be no Candace. You're not gonna be no Candace. Candace was at least smart enough not to regurgitate somebody else bar for bar. At the very least, she took a lot of stuff from other people, but she would take one thing and another thing and another thing and another thing. You copying somebody bar for bar, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. Hell no, especially you crying on the internet about your daddy. Come on now. Yeah, you're not gonna make it, and we don't feel sorry for you either. And then whatever you do next is gonna flop. That's what you get. You ain't getting no pass. Sorry about your dad, though. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess. Okay. Let me get to some of these super chats real quick before we continue. Okay, hold on. April says, the FBA gate is closed and the tethers shall not pass. Absolutely. Hell no. Black Eyed Peas says, that wannabe Candace doesn't have one original thought. No, she don't. Everything she gets is a regurgitation of something Candace has already said. Bruce, he says, sitting up there looking like S. Yeah, himself, all in that red. Yeah, that's true. It's terrible, terrible. Bruce again says, facts, Afro. Trained to protect, but instead flee their countries, like that one Tether did. Miss me with all that cap. Oh, y'all be talking about how brave you guys are, but yet you guys are willing to do some crazy stuff to get a green card. Okay. Not just with the women either. Because if a white man come over there and he like what he see, y'all going. I've heard the stories. Will Willis says, they both look goofy and cast outs from their family. They do. They do. They look, they're cast outs. Cowards and fat chicks. They mix. They mix. Tell Like It Is says, he gonna be the next Christian. Let me see. Abasel, if that's how it's pronounced. The chick looked like Triple H from WWE. I ain't gonna lie to you. Her face ain't, you know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna be no model no time soon. I know that much. Jizzle says, I think, or Hizzle, I believe, says, I think that hat says beautiful bleached colored. Let's see what that hat says. I'm gonna have to look into it. Okay. Willis also says, she sounds annoying as hell. She comes off fake. She does. It's a character. It's an act. I said this in the very beginning of it. YouTube promotes this content and they're looking at Candace like Candace is the bag. That's who we want to be. We want to be able to drop books and be on different podcasts and have all of the deals and all of that stuff. That's what they want. They want the bag and they're willing to throw FBA under the bus for it. That's what they're looking at. But the thing is that ain't no more bag. Ain't no more bag. Because we've delineated now, and now we have cultural pride and relevance, and now we got a whole bunch of black empowerment or channels that speak about black empowerment that counters all of y'all propaganda. Ain't no more bag. That's what they don't understand. They're not understanding that. They don't get it. Ain't no more bag. Ain't nothing left. It's gone. Okay. Hampton says, what do we call folks that only have parents, grandparents as FBA? They only have a one parent /grandparent as FBA. Well, you would have to have at least one FBA parent to be considered FBA, but then you would be considered half FBA, considering what your other family is. You still have ties to the lineage based off of your mom or dad. But the thing is that you also have immigrant ties. Now, you would be an anchor baby if you were an anchor baby. Do we call all bilinguals anchor babies? No, because an anchor baby, you are actually, when we call people an anchor baby, your design of birth, the plan for your parent to give birth is for you to be an anchor, okay? Is for you to be an anchor baby. Most of the time when we talk about anchor babies, their mother is the immigrant. Their father could be, but most of the time it's their mother that's the immigrant. Now, for instance, if you have a parent who happens to not be FBA, but they're married, you're not necessarily an anchor baby, like, for instance, Malcolm X. Malcolm X wouldn't be considered an anchor baby because his parents were already together in an established married relationship. Okay? So Malcolm X's mother didn't hurry up and give birth so she can stay in the country, so she can exploit the 14th Amendment. Okay? unlike someone like Wes Moore. Wes Moore would be considered an anchor baby because his parents weren't in no marriage. His parents weren't in no established relationship or even a two-parent household like that. Wes Moore, his mother is an immigrant, all right? And she just needed to hurry up and give birth in America so she can stay here. And the dad, he came, he did what he did, and that was it. So he's an anchor baby. So we got to understand the difference, all right? We got to understand the difference. Okay. Diamond says sigh. It says it feels good to be FBA. Oh, it feels great. It feels good to me. Patricia, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so very much. And thank y'all for the cash apps. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. But I want to talk about Amanda. Let's talk about Amanda because Amanda is going around. Where's the picture of Amanda? Amanda is going around and she's talking about, she's milking. I'm telling you, she is out here milking that damn Jubilee, I guess, debate interview thing. She's milking that. She getting every dime that is worth. She's sitting up there milking it dry. Now, remember, let's do a little refresh, okay? It was this year where Amanda was saying that we need to fight on behalf of immigrants because of deportation. We're not going to forget that. We're not going to forget what type of time Amanda was on. Let me pull this video up real quick. Hold on, here we go. Let's pull this up.
Because I see a lot of Black people. So I just wanted to step in because I see a lot of Black people saying, well, they can't deport Black people because we here. Honey. I know you don't think they're building all of these detention centers for immigrants.
No, see, Amanda, no offense, but they might deport your mom. Yeah, your mom might need to check her paperwork. Your mom might need to check her status, but we good. We straight. We fine. We okay. You can't check us. You can't speak for us. And this is why, even though we give props where props is due, we always got to be careful because now she going around and she saying some things that just don't align with what the community needs right now. And look at this. Let me play this for you. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Is back with us. I mean, you just said it right there that none of this is going to work if you're just going to sit here and make up some stuff. So
I got PTSD watching it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You had to relive that. The whole internet at least has been reliving it with you.
Yes.
What was your goal? Why go into that space knowing it could go off the rails?
Because ultimately we are in a desperate time of disinformation. Like I call this the age of idiocy, right? And we know that when it comes to the internet, when it comes to media, there really has just been a commitment to not telling whole truths. We know that when it comes to academia, when it comes to nonprofits, like it's just not a truthful time. And I know that I'm OD truthful, which is why sometimes people have an issue. But when you are of this type of mindset, when you are a revolutionary, when you know that you have the facts, you are responsible to explain it over and over and over again. That is a quote from the great Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. And I know that about myself and many of my peers. We understand that we have to put ourselves in these spaces sometimes and take the bruise and annoyance, knowing that we aren't speaking to just these individuals. We're speaking to an entire audience watching who may never have heard what we have to say, and they need to.
Of everything you discussed, what was the most contentious disagreement? And then what was your most surprising point of agreement?
So I would say the most contentious point of agreement was that across all of the claims, because you have to make 4 claims, then you're debating things that are undebatable, but that's another convo for another time. They all seem to keep coming back to Black people are the problem with Black people. There was simply no concept of cause and effect, of the continued oppressive behaviors and legislation. You know, we just had Tremaine here 2 seconds ago talking about the ways in which we are still continuing to see systemic racism experienced across the nation. And they just failed to regard that as anything of impact. And it didn't matter how many examples I gave. I would say the surprise point of agreement was actually more of a surprise for them than me, because the last person, you argue a claim that they have, and they had a claim that Black people should leave the Democratic Party. And I let him talk, and I let him talk, and then I said, I agree. And he was like, but ultimately, I am of a mind that one of our biggest misses that we did after the civil rights movement was that
listen to what she got to say now. Listen. I'm gonna amplify. I'm gonna just zoom in. Just listen to what she got to say.
we didn't form a third party, a cross coalition third party to handle what really was really for the people, because the parties have never really been for the people.
Was there any moment in that debate where?
Did y'all get that? Did y'all hear that? We need to form a cross coalition party. What does that mean? What does a cross coalition party mean? And this is why everybody can't sit up there and represent us. So Amanda Seales on her own YouTube page, she kind of, I guess, elaborated a little bit more on what she thinks a cross coalition party is, or how we need this coalition. And this is exactly why when we be talking about me and everybody come and represent us, because then the argument, it starts off with black, then the argument starts to shift into something else.
Of laborers.
Okay. Now this is Amanda on her own YouTube.
And their labor from exploitation by the ruling class. It is a stance that refuses assimilation into white supremacist frameworks as a method of protection or equality. This is the Black radical tradition. Now, I'm sure that in laying out that definition for you, you can think of individuals who have come before us and who that exists right now that embody this. People that you have read, people whose work you've been inspired by. And you're saying, well, I didn't really know that that was like their title. And I want to just make a point that it doesn't have to be a title. Not everything has to be named, because oftentimes naming it also makes it a target. But sometimes it is absolutely necessary in order to object and refuse being included in spaces that you object to and refuse. In my case, I object to being called a liberal. Though the general concept of being liberal is something that is open, something that is that has hello. Though the general definition of liberal is having more, we know that in the mix and the context of politics, that is not the case. We know that liberalism is actually the goal of preventing leftism. It is the goal of allowing a bipartisan party to be a bipartisan setup to be the only party system that exists. Liberalism at this point means that you only care about things when they affect you. It means you only center problems when they are your problem. That is what we were talking about during the election, when so many folks said, I don't care about Palestine. I don't care about trans folks. I don't care about working class folks. All I care about is if I am going to continue to be preserved and protected in this nation.
Oh, whoa. Let's run that back one more time. We're gonna run that back one more again. You said, hold on, what?
Only care about things when they affect you. It means you only center problems when they are your problem. That is what we were talking about during the election, when so many folks said, I don't care about Palestine. I don't care about trans folks. I don't care about working class folks. All I care about is if I am going to continue to be preserved and protected in this nation. Now,
okay. So y'all know, she talking about when we talk about, we care about black issues in our lineage. Okay. We was not out there talking about, well, we got to sit up there and protest and do all that stuff for the trans community. We was not doing that. Okay. We was not out there sitting up there fighting on behalf of Palestine. We was not out there talking about the working class, which you're just pretty much saying Americans, really white, okay, i.e. white Americans who don't make that much money, the quote unquote working class. No, we're talking about our issues in this country. The black issue that everybody keeps going over. And notice that she was black on Jubilee. Black on Jubilee. Then after Jubilee, now she's gotten a bunch of attention. Now everybody gave her this praise. even though she was calling us Hotep when we were doing it first. But it was black on Jubilee. Now she's here talking about we need to build a coalition. And now we got to talk about Palestine and trans people and working class people. See, that's why you can't champion everybody too quick. Even if you give credit where credit is due, always make sure that you put a disclaimer there that you're not fully co-signing, because they tend to flip. They tend to flip just like this. Okay. Now you turn something that was supposed to be about reparations and a black issue. You didn't go there talking about you were advocating for Palestinians. You didn't go on Jubilee talking about you were advocating for trans folk. You didn't go on Jubilee talking about you were advocating for working class people. You went on Jubilee talking about you're a black radical. Now you talking about, yeah, we shouldn't be just concerned with us. We should be concerned with Palestine and trans and poor working class people. You see that? You see the finesse? Oh, but she's not done. She's not done.
When we talk about they voted for who they voted for, what I think is always fascinating is that it absolutely ignores the fact that coalition building requires reaching over and saying, hey.
You see the word coalition again. You see what they're doing. They're trying to market people. They're trying to market people to be the damn black radicals. Okay, they're out there stomping on behalf of black people. They quote unquote standing on business. They doing all of this great stuff. And then next thing you know, yeah, we got to build a coalition with the trans. Huh? What? Well, okay. It didn't take that long.
I'm going to continue to be preserved and protected in this nation. Now, when we talk about they voted for who they voted for, what I think is always fascinating is that it absolutely ignores the fact that coalition building requires reaching over and saying, hey, check this out. Don't do that, because this is what's going to happen. And I know that is exhaustive work. That is what Eric and David were telling us earlier. How it's the only work that can exist in a nation that has made up of so many people from so many walks of life, ethnicities, spiritual beliefs, classes, etc. As a black radical in the black radical tradition, I understand that as a black person, I exist in a constant state of intersectionality. And that
y'all hear that? I want y'all to understand the midterms are coming up, and you're going to hear that a lot. Because when they use the term intersectionality, it's meant to kind of water down or to create some distance between you and being black first. That's what it's meant to do. When they talk about intersectionality, it's meant to pull you away and to make you closer aligned, or to try to galvanize some or spark some type of allegiance with some other issue. So instead of everybody being like, you know what, we're going to be black first, we're going to focus on black empowerment, we're going to do what we got to do for our lineage, that's foundational black American here. They're trying to spark some type of hidden allegiance that you may have based off of something else that you could identify with. So they're going to be all like, well, yeah, I mean, you're black, but you're also a woman, and women got to deal with other things. So you got to come halfway over here. You're halfway black and you're halfway feminist. And that's to pull you away from your community and to kind of put you in this bubble. And that's easy for them to pander to, and for them to manipulate, and for them to target. It's easy to target a group of black people, whether that's, and they try to do it a lot with black women. They try to do it with black LGBT folk. You know what I'm saying? So they try to do it with them too the most, with the whole intersectionality thing. They want you to be in this bubble because it's a lot easier for them to target and manipulate you when you're in this bubble that's somewhat connected, but a little bit disconnected from the group. You're not as fully locked in with the group as they need you, as we need you to be, rather. Okay? If there's a little bit of disconnect, they're going to sit up there and try to target you. That's why they're using the whole intersectionality, which they don't use with any other group of people. Just mind you, this is how you know it's a manipulation tactic, because they don't use the word intersectionality when it came to Palestine. Huh? When it came to Palestinians, you didn't hear anything about, well, we got to talk about Palestinians, but we also got to talk about Palestinian women, because Palestinians got to go through genocide, but they also got to go through sexism. So it's Palestinian. What, you didn't hear that? What Palestinians did you? All of this Palestinian intersectionality and all that stuff, you didn't hear that? When it came to the whole Stop Asian Hate thing, did you hear anything about intersectionality then? No, you didn't. You didn't hear anything about no intersectionality. When ICE was out there deporting folk, even though they're still out there, but when ICE, especially earlier in the year, and they was all like, we got to protest against ICE. Did you hear something about some intersectionality then? Or were they all working together as Hispanics? One community as Hispanics. They didn't try to separate or create any bit of distance between Hispanic women and Hispanic men. They didn't try to do that. It was just Hispanics. When it's Palestinians, they don't try to create any type of division or separation between Palestinian men and Palestinian women. They don't do that. When it was Asians, they didn't try to create no type of separation between Asian men and Asian women. But when it's black, there's, oh, well, we got to talk about intersectionality because sexism is a really big factor in all of this. So, you know, black women and black men, we really got to understand that y'all don't live the same reality in America. You notice that now all of a sudden intersectionality becomes a subject, and all of a sudden intersectionality is something that they're trying to use to create this gender divide in the community. All right. Pay attention to that. That's how you know it's a manipulation tactic.
Intersectionality informs my coalition building as a centerpiece to the multi-pronged approach that I take to liberation. I cannot consider my own liberation and not someone else's, because there's no version of being a black person in the United States that doesn't involve intersectionality and connectivity with someone else who is not a black person.
Do you see that? Now you called yourself a black radical, and then the next thing you know, she's talking about, well, we got to advocate for everybody because you can't really be a black person without being connected to somebody who not black. I can. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can. I do that fine. I can. I don't know what's wrong with you. No, you are not going to sit up there and get no brownie points by talking about reparations and then try to leverage that to talk about how we need to now advocate for everybody who can kind of be tied to us a little bit. No, So now you're trying to say our advocacy should go to non-black people. We not having that. No, we not having that. Nope. And we was right for being suspicious because we saw this coming. All of that, yeah, now we need to advocate for all the intersectionality because we're all tied in. I ain't tied in with none of y'all. I am a foundational black American. I ain't got no ties with none of y'all intersectional groups. That I ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'm going to keep it that way.
It doesn't exist. So we, as black radicals, are not actually radical in our belief system. We are simply radical in the context of an oppressive system. And that is what makes us radical. But that is not something just solely owned and identified by black people. We have seen Irish radicals in Northern Ireland who fought. We have seen the radical Zapatistas in Mexico who now have their own community, their own nation. We understand that radicalism is not something that you are, gatekeeping. Radicalism is not something you're gatekeeping. Radicalism is something you are teaching. That's the goal.
All right. Do y'all see that? Shout out to the Cash Apps from Walter. Appreciate you, Walter, my brother. And shout out to the Trivia family. Appreciate you. Okay. Appreciate you. First off, I'm going to be very clear with you. This is my stance on it. I don't really like even the phrasing of using the thing of advocating for black people as if you are a black radical. I don't like using the word radical because it makes it seem the word has too much of a stigma to it as being something that is like illogical or irrational or anti-American. I don't even like the framing of that. Okay, you're a radical, you're acting radical. I don't like the framing of that. Okay, so when I first saw that she was identifying as a radical, I was like, okay, so that is that's a little interesting that you would frame it that way, because you can frame yourself as something different, not a leftist, but you don't have to say radical. Okay, because it ties too closely with extremist. Okay, it ties too closely with that, and that's something that we don't want to be framed as, and which is why I want to warn you guys, this is something that they keep on trying to make foundational Black Americans seem like some hate group or some extremist group or some anti-patriotic group, which is why they use terms like hate group, which is why they use terms like Marxists. Okay, this is why they use that stuff. Okay, so we're logical people of a lineage who wants to advocate for the justified, rational, and righteous dismantling of the system of white supremacy. It's as simple as that. It's nothing extreme about that. No. Okay, you wouldn't call a doctor an extremist. No, we're just solving a virus. We're fixing a virus. We're solving a problem. I don't call that extreme, and I don't like that. But okay, let it rock, let it slide. And the next thing you know, now she's on here talking about how we don't exist in this thing without all of these other groups of people who can tie into that, and we got to advocate for everything. And then there's radical Mexicans, and then radical Irish people, and then radical this. Okay. None of those Irish people, none of those Hispanics, those radical Hispanics or whatever, they might have been trying to dismantle the oppressive system of their own government. What we're trying to do is bigger than that. We're trying to do the best feat that mankind has done. Okay, we're trying to dismantle the entire system of white supremacy. That's global. They weren't out there looking for global Black empowerment or Irish empowerment or Hispanic empowerment. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to live a better life. We're trying to solve a problem for the future. That's a very big difference. Okay, we're trying to make the world better. Okay, so this world doesn't have to deal with white supremacy. So our descendants, our children's children's children won't have to deal with the same issues that we have to deal with. That's what we're doing. They were just trying to get up under a specific government. So no, we ain't even in the same boat as far as that's concerned. So all of this, we ain't radical or nothing like that. And the second folks was giving you credit, now hear what you're doing, talking about some coalition of non-Black people we got to advocate for. Nope. And this is why we got to be careful of all of these people who want to come up, these Johnny-come-latelys want to use the Foundation Black American grassroots talking points, the same ones that they were calling Hotep and dismissing before, the same ones that they were calling xenophobic and divisive before. Now they want to come up on a damn podcast or a damn debate and start delineating. Gotta watch out. Nope. We ain't going with that. Let me get to some of the cash apps. Okay, hold on. Or the super chats, rather. Love sister Stephanie, she says, FBA is on top and the Tethers are crashing out. This is our winning delineation season. It is. Oh, it is. I love it. And everybody is feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. Shout out to Bruce. Bruce again says it's called hold on, let me see. Let me zoom into this. Triangulating. It's called triangulating. Goes back to Bill Clinton. Yeah, we now, oh, look, it's Black. Anything ain't Black, don't care. Okay? Because they don't care. Anything that's not Black, any issue that's not Black, that's not affecting the community is a distraction. It is what it is. All of this other stuff is a distraction because it's not even a good way to spend your time, because it's not like you help somebody else and then they're going to help you in return. We've never seen that. They don't do that. you got their back and they stab you in the back. We've seen that. That's the only thing we've seen when it comes to helping all these other groups of people. So as of right now, all this helping everybody else, and we got a side mission over here in Palestine, and then we got a side mission over here in Ukraine, and now we got a side mission over here in the Congo, and now we got a side mission over here. Ain't no more side missions. No more side missions. We are focused exclusively on the main mission. Okay. We step 1, step 2, step 3, we focusing on reparations. We focusing on a hate crime bill. We focusing on intangibles. We focusing on dismantling the system of white supremacy. We focus on this, the main mission. Okay. All of these distractions, which are side missions, we not doing that no more. Ain't no more side missions. Okay. Because normally, like if you play a video game and a side mission, at least you get some type of points. At least you get some a level up or a extra character or something like that when you play a side mission. We've been distracted with all of these side missions and we ain't got nothing for it. Every time we step off and we focus on a side mission, we don't get nothing for it. Except to deal with Tethers coming in. Actually, it hurts us to focus on these damn side missions. We've been the best focusing on our main mission. This is our main mission. Okay. All of these side missions, we advocating for them to come over here, and they coming over here and they're undermining our community. That's the benefit of the side mission. So no more side missions. No, not doing that. Not doing that. Okay. They tried. They tried. But the thing is that the door is closed. The door is absolutely being closed. And the door is even being closed for Candace, because the thing is that when you delineate, it kind of makes you a little useless to the system of white supremacy, to be honest. And that even goes for Candace. See, Candace really ain't got no footing like that. She's not cool with Ben. So that means she ain't going to be cool. And she already got into it with Steven Crowder. She's gotten into it with damn near everybody. So Candace has already kind of burned a bunch of bridges that she can't cross back no more. So she's on her own, and she made a damn big mistake thinking that she was still going to be cool. But the thing is that once we've delineated and taken your credibility away, it's like a tool that doesn't work anymore. It's like a knife that's sharp. There's nothing there. Ain't nobody want to use no damn dull knife. That's what you are, Candace. Candace is a dull knife. So you got damn white supremacists calling her out about it. Hold on, let me show y'all this. Y'all didn't know. A lot of y'all probably have, because y'all pretty much stay up to date on every damn thing. I ain't telling y'all something y'all don't know.
You are a diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander. Hold
on. You got confirmed white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes. I keep saying Fuentes because, you know, Nick ain't even fully white like that, but we're going to get to it. Nick Fuentes, Candace, for whatever dumb reason, invited Nick in her house to do some type of documentary or something like that. And then Nick, being the snake that he is, dissed Candace, like crazy dissed Candace right afterwards. And listen to what he says here.
Diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander. You know, when she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch, yeah, you're a bitch. But like you didn't get that way because you're a super smart boss. You got that way because you're super bitchy black token. Like, it is what it is. So I don't know that anyone's ever told her that. But that's the obvious and I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diverse.
Did you see that? Hey, what does that remind you of? Hey, I'm telling you, all the Candace copycats, y'all don't understand that the door was closed right after Candace. Candace barely made it through. And Nick is talking like he has some type of authority. He doesn't. The only reason why they're done is because y'all not useful anymore. the damage that you guys could have caused if y'all was to enter in the game 10, 15 years ago, y'all could have caused a lot of damage. But we're different now. We are having a renaissance now. We're foundational Black American now, and we know that. So y'all don't really matter no more. Real talk. Y'all really don't matter like that no more. So yeah, you trying to come up, and now you mad that we delineating and we showing you the damn FBA pecking order. Yeah, we don't care that your daddy, I mean, both of them, just notice, both of them got daddy issues. Her daddy wasn't in her life, and her daddy wasn't in her life. Neither was Candace. So all of y'all tethers and suspected tethers with y'all daddy issues, the grift is over with. And you got white supremacists who don't care for y'all no more because y'all don't work anymore. You're useless. You're useless. Let me run that back. Let him say that again.
Told her that. But that's the obvious. And I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like, you're not that smart. You're not even that conservative. You built your career on a grift that is now dead. You were hired when diversity quotas were a thing. You were hired when white guilt is a thing. I don't feel white guilt. I never have. DEI.
All right. First of all, ain't he gonna talk about some white guilt? Ain't never been no damn white guilt. Ain't never been that. But yeah, I can agree on one thing. The grift is dead. The grift is dead. It's over with. It's dead. It's not dead because of him. It's dead because of foundational Black Americans. It's dead because we ended that grift. The grift of you profiting off of exploiting the community, oh, that's over with. The grift of you coming here and cosplaying and acting like you represent Black Americans and talking about, well, you know what, I don't really care about Juneteenth like that. The grift of that's over with. We checking paperwork at the door. That's over with. That's over with. If you see that, the delineation in the paperwork check has gotten so strict. When we be having our conversations, you know, the TikTok lives and stuff like that on the horticulture, the first thing, unless we know you for a fact, the first thing we be asking, hey, where your family from? We don't even let you talk before that. We establish right before anything, before you come, unless we know you, before you come up with where's your family from, that's the first question. If you don't want to answer that question, and we will kick people out for not answering that question. They're like, I don't want to say, okay, well, goodbye. All right, goodbye, which means your family not from here. Because if your family was from here, you wouldn't have a problem saying that. But if your family not from here, that's when they want to, well, what does that matter? That means you're not from here. That means you can go by. Goodbye. And we even let you talk if you courageous enough to tell us where your family from. That don't mean you all bad, but you got to go through the screening. Oh, it's paperwork check. We got to see that. We got to see that. Come on. You trying to be stingy? You trying to hide? You trying to cosplay? You can get out of here with that. See, we weren't originally doing that before, but now we doing that. So the grift is up. It's up. It's not because of Nick Fuentes, whatever his name is. It's because of us. It's because we ended that. All of this ain't gonna be no Candace 2.0. Ain't gonna be none of that. It's up. And what's unfortunate is y'all could have spent y'all time building up a profile talking about anything else. Y'all could have talked about anything else, but y'all decided to try to be a copycat of Candace Owens, not knowing that the grift is up. And Candace Owens is one of the bigger factors as to why the grift is up. So y'all following behind the footsteps of somebody who just walked off a cliff. But they say a soft, hard head make a soft ass. So it is what it is. Maybe if y'all fathers was in y'all life, where y'all want to talk about how fathers aren't in the Black community like that. Maybe if y'all fathers was in y'all life, they would have told you not to jump off the cliff with Candace. But all three of y'all daddyless little girls jumped off that damn cliff. This is why Black fathers need to be in the life. Okay. Except one of the ones we know for a fact is a Nigerian man. So, you know, he's probably using her as a damn anchor baby or something like that. It's over with. Yeah, let me get you. It says Mother Tree Moon says, did she tell the Palestinians or Mexicans to advocate for reparations? Good question. Or LGBT? Nope. She requires no one to advocate for other groups but us. That's true. We the only people who got to worry about this intersectionality. Anytime you're having a conversation about other groups of people's issues, the word intersectionality does not come up. The only time you ever hear the word intersectionality is when they're talking about black people. And we're not going with that no more. No. Okay. Sister Nisi says, who? Your people, aka your own lineage. Who? Your people, aka what's your lineage? Yeah, who your people, aka what's your lineage? Tell us where you coming from. Tell us where you got to go through the screening. It's like a metal detector. You can't get in the building without walking through the metal detector. No, don't try to walk around it. No, you got to come through the metal detector. And then we might have an extra, what was those metal wands thing? I think that's what they call it. We might wand you down. Okay. Yeah, you got to go. This is like TSA in the airport. Okay. You put your bag through, take your shoes off, put your shoes in another bin, take the laptop out the bag, take all your jewelry off. You got to go through it. Ain't no exception. And then we might still flag you. We might still have to pull you in the room and do the metal detector thing. Okay. We got to check everything. Well, why is your shampoo bottle that big? No, you can't come through here with that shampoo bottle. You got to throw that away. We doing it like that. We ain't letting nobody on this plane. Okay. All y'all tethers on this plane. No, you take your shoes off, take your jewelry off, take the necklace off, take your watch off, take that belt off. Okay. If you keep playing, we're gonna make you take your shoelaces out the shoes and then take your shoes off. Don't do that. Okay. Why is your laptop still in the bag? Okay, go back in line, get back in line, and take the laptop out the bag. We said that before. Okay. Why you on a 3-day trip? You don't need a damn shampoo bottle this big. You get one of those mini shampoo bottles that you get in Walmart or something like that. Okay. Now you gonna go out of town without no shampoo. Okay, you did not need all this lotion. Now we got to throw the lotion away. We not letting that slide. Oh yeah, we strict with it. We strict with it. We ain't playing no games. You get back in line, or else you can drive. You can drive. You ain't getting on this plane with that shampoo. We letting you know that right now. Ain't no shampoo. Ain't no shampoo. Ain't no conditioner. Ain't no nothing. What is this? A fork? No, we can't let no forks on the plane. Sorry. You can't let a fork. You can bring a spork, maybe, if you got some yogurt or something like that. I don't know. There ain't no forks on the plane. You got to take the fork out. I don't even know why a fork is in your bag. Oh, we checking everybody. We checking everybody. And then we looking at your passport too, seeing if you're on the no-fly list. And I'm going to tell you right now, all 3 of them are on the no-fly list. We better not even see you at the airport. You ain't even going through the check line. The second we see y'all big-ass foreheads, y'all ain't going. Y'all was banned. Y'all was on the no-fly list. Y'all better not even come to the airport. It's over with for them. The grift is dead. It's dead. Family, I appreciate y'all. We've been on here and we letting them know, hey, it's over with. It's over with. It's over with. It's over with for them. Okay, I appreciate y'all. What I would hope for y'all to do is I would hope that you guys hit that like button. Really hope y'all hit that like button. Really hope y'all hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. So that way y'all will be notified anytime we go live. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Okay. Appreciate every single last one of y'all for coming through. To the new subscribers, love y'all. Thank y'all very much for subscribing. To the OGs, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Shout out to the mods too. Thank you all very much. Y'all make sure y'all come back. We got some good stuff coming up this week. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all come back. All right. I just can't tell you how much we appreciate it. How much I appreciate y'all. Okay. Making sure everything is good. Y'all can also, if y'all don't get the notifications, y'all can make sure y'all follow on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. All right. Now, with that being said, Black First as always, family, my beloved family, my exceptional family. Y'all stay blessed.